advisors who gave the county's State of the County speech Wednesday.
When we were discussing what we thought the theme should be of this year, I couldn't think of anything better than feeding and fueling California. It's short, sweet, and really says it all.
He says since the beginning of the year, the county has gotten requests for 300 new oil drilling permits, with a possible 127 new wells coming. He says the county will likely also be taking on solar and battery projects too. Here's a guy who won't be getting out of prison anytime soon because the parole board believes he still poses a risk to you. That's 45-year-old Rory Moser. He was doing time at North Kern State Prison in Delano in 2014 for felony drunk driving and hit and run when he beat his cellmate, Donald Cook, to death and got another conviction for murder. You hear about these every now and then, scammers calling, pretending to be cops and telling you you have a warrant and you need to pay up to get out of it. That happened this week with someone claiming to be the Kern County Sheriff's Department. Bear Valley Police say that's where it happened and that you shouldn't comply with those types of demands if you want to keep your dough. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180. KERN.
The list. The beginning of the growing list. And I highlighted ones I wanted to hear today.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842.
Well, I'm going to continue to add to it.
That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for, live from the KERN studio. Here's
everybody. Pleasant good afternoon to you. What? What's the problem?
Sorry, no, the X's that not in the picture. Your list.
Oh, you're bringing that up at the top of the show?
Sorry, I just had to make sure.
I finally gave Mr. Burdick the list.
It exists.
The list doesn't. There's the list.
It actually exists.
There it is. There it is, in bold.
Although how short it is makes me believe this thing maybe just started last week.
It did. Well, yeah, it's only like 2 weeks old. Started over the holidays. How long? Well, you're right. That's a little bit longer. Yeah, you're right.
We are well into January.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some classics on here. Some you've played, but some we've never heard. A whole new list of songs for the year 2026. And it's an ongoing list that will grow. But you're going to hear some artists that you either rarely hear or have never heard on this broadcast. More importantly, we got a great show for you this Thursday afternoon, 29th day of January. As you heard, Mr. Burdick producing the broadcast. And it's a Thursday, so Mike Turnipseed will be here at 4 o'clock. We'll talk about the charter county and what that means and how important it is for you to get out and vote this coming June in the primary and put it on the ballot officially and then get it across the goal line in November. Daniel Petrie will add to what we talked about yesterday. Jerome Powell not moving interest rates. And the deputy who shot a 31-year-old black woman who was unarmed in her kitchen and had mental health issues, found guilty. He was sentenced today. I'll tell you what the officer received. And we'll wind up with little sports. Once again, I'm not getting any sleep, and I'm waking up at like 9:30 in the morning because I was up till 2 watching Aryna Sabalenka destroy her way into the finals. That's not, she's the number 1 seed. And tonight, Alcaraz and Sinner will win, and they will advance this weekend into the finals, as everyone knew. It's that big a gap. But Djokovic is still swinging. Man has won more Australian Opens than anyone. And we got some interesting audio. Mr. Sports, Mr. ESPN host, did you hear about the row between Sean Payton, who I can't stand, not just because he's the head coach of our arch rival, but I just think he's a horror. I never liked him. Just remember
Bountygate.
Bountygate, yep. And the suspension he got, and I've never liked him. I thought he treated Russell Wilson horribly. Please stand by. Okay, something unrelated. But did you hear about the row between he and Bo Nix?
I did, yeah.
I've got the audio of that, of what Sean Payton said and what Bo Nix countered with. He ain't happy. That's crazy. You got a young, overachieving quarterback that damn near got you to the Super Bowl, and you're talking crap about him? I don't get Sean Payton. I really don't. But we begin, once again, with what everyone is talking about today, and that's the new footage of Alex Preddy in that incident that we all found out about 11 days before he was shot in Minneapolis. This is I think, a change in the perception on both sides. And normally I can divide controversial issues by party. From now on, I'm going to, and this is no slight to Howard Marcus, honest to God, I'm going to categorize the pro-justified shooting group or team or as the Howard Marcus group, and the folks that don't think that the shooting was justified as the Ralph Bailey group, just so you can understand. Because you can't say it's Republican or Democrat, because I'm a Republican. And there are many Republicans who think that this thing was wrong, Rand Paul being one, and there are others, Tom Tillis, that said boo, 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 boo. So we're going to separate it like that. And I think no matter what team you're on, you had to have found this footage fascinating in so many different ways. Let's deal with Alex Preddy, first of all. The scenario that I even put forward, that he was this ICU unit, ICU nurse, this giving, loving character, that may be the case. But he is also part of what Renee Good was a part of, and that is these ICE watchers who are spending an inordinate amount of their time to specifically harass and get in the way of federal agents. There's no question about that now that we've seen this video, that we've seen this man commit a crime, do exactly what Howard said he did 11 days later, which I disagree with. That situation where he was shot, he wasn't going after the police as he was 11 days prior. Oh, it's clear. There's no refuting the fact that he committed a crime. He spit on these guys and then broke out their brake light. Are you kidding me? We'll get to that in just a second. But that's not what happened 11 days later. They were on almost the sidewalk, not in the middle of the street, not getting in the way of an arrest. Those officers were going after some woman. And as I've described, she was viciously put to the ground, and Preddy went to get her. And Howard Marcus is right. Technically, that's a crime. If my girlfriend and I are walking down the street and I'm acting disorderly or I'm publicly intoxicated and the police come to put the claps on me and my girlfriend tries to get between the cops and me, we both going to jail. So technically, Howard is exactly right. He did commit a crime. They were going after some woman. He went to her aid, thus getting in between the agent and this woman. That's a crime technically. But it's not a capital punishment crime. That's the issue. If he was resisting, that's not a capital punishment crime. I'll give you more evidence that the shoot was bad. Of the two incidents, which one was more egregious? The answer is clear. The first incident, in which we know from footage that he was armed. And yet he wasn't killed, was he? He was armed. He viciously attacked these agents, spitting on them and committing, I don't know, what would that be, criminal mischief? Destroying federal property? Which I think also tells a large story about the training of the ICE agents. Because in the initial video, what stands out? What is the most outstanding point of that video? A man in Minneapolis commits criminal mischief, destroys federal property. The agents get out of the car armed with either pepper ball guns or some sort of weapon, take him to the ground, rough him up, get back in the car and drive away. Why was he not arrested? Why was he not arrested? Minnesotans have to pay for that, as trivial as it may sound, Minnesotans have to pay for the repair of that car. Why was he not punished for that? Because these guys don't know what they're doing, in my opinion. I think many of them have been poorly trained. I'm sure you've heard Democrats highlight the fact that the training time has been limited from what it once was. And these guys, I think, have a little air about them, and it's just going wrong. It's just going wrong. And the clear evidence of that is the different direction that the Trump administration is taking. There is a reason Greg Bovino, the man that I told you was a clown, has been removed from Minneapolis-St. Paul. There's a reason that Tom Homan, a man who's worked for 6 presidents in terms of border control, a man who was commended and given a presidential honor by Donald Trump. No, that's not right. By George Bush. No, that's not right. Oh, that's right. He was given a presidential honor by Barack Hussein Obama. A man who's respected across the board. There's a reason he's now in Minneapolis-St. Paul. There's a reason that he's talking about drawing this thing down. What's the phrase he's using? I can't see it in my notes, but it's basically draw down the temperature of this thing. I'm trying to see. Yes, we got. Do I have the audio? Did I send you the audio of Tom Homan? Here is Tom Homan. He's coming.
I begged for the last 2 months on TV for the rhetoric to stop. I said in March, if the rhetoric didn't stop, there's going to be bloodshed. And there has been. I wish I wasn't right. I don't want to see anybody die. Not officers, not members of the community, and not the targets of our operations.
Let's go ahead and take our first break. And when we come back, we'll get into the different direction that Homan is taking, some of the priorities that he has established that clearly is a different tact in what is going on. And what is despicable about all this, and it's the obvious politics of all this, is you would think that the Democrats would applaud the Trump administration, the president, Tom Homan, for changing course, tamping it down a little bit, getting Bovina out of there. Kristi Noem completely ignored in the cabinet meeting. They had their first 2026 cabinet meeting. They normally go around the table, allow everybody to speak. For the first time in his second presidency, they didn't do that. That's not a coincidence. He didn't want to hear from Kristi Noem. Several spoke. Hegseth spoke. Rubio spoke. Vance spoke. They didn't go to Kristi Noem. She's on her way out. But instead of Democrats applauding the shift, they're throwing it in Republicans' face. See, you were wrong. And now you've had to admit it. It just wasn't like that in the 20th century. Democrats would have said, thank you for conceding. Now let's try to meet together. Let's try to calm this thing down. But no, that's just not the way it happens in 2026. First time out of the day, come right back and break down what Mr. Homan is talking about and what he's prioritizing, making a definite shift. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we'll talk a little bit about what I have told you is inevitable, and that is the shutting down of the government beginning at 12:01 Saturday morning. And I'll tell you why even a solution is impossible at this point. Mike Turnipseed at 4, Daniel Petrie at 4:30. And I'll tell you the story of the deputy who shot an unarmed woman, was found guilty of second-degree murder. He was sentenced today. And we'll wrap up with the Australian Open and some football news. You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1.
Matchmaker.
Eddie Show, we do not like to talk about government shutdowns, but it looks like we might be headed to one with the whole funding DHS ICE thing.
And are criminal gangs and foreign governments actually using your computer and your phone while you're sleeping?
Ooh.
There's a pretty good chance that they are.
What?
They're inside it already. We'll talk about that and bring you the news of the day on the next Armstrong and Getty Show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's a Thursday, so coming up at 4:30, Daniel Petrie from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors joins us once again this week. We had him on earlier to talk about Jerome Powell's decision with the interest rates. We'll talk about that more in depth today at 4:30 and discuss the continuing rising of gold and silver, what some pundits say is going to continue for a while. But again, you know what Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors are all about. They're all about retirement. I've been so glad to turn on friends to Daniel Petrie, friends that suddenly realize that retirement is very, very close. Call Daniel today at 395-9400, 395-9400. His office is located on 21st and Oak. Just keep it locked. He's coming up today at 4:30 right here on the Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 AM 1180 KERN.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only. Does not constitute a solicitation or offer to buy or sell any security, future option, or other financial instrument, or to offer or provide any investment advisory or other services to any person in any jurisdiction by Daniel Petrie or MPWA, DBA, Messmaker, and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Any views expressed in this broadcast by us are prepared based upon the information available to us at the time, and we are under no obligation to update our views.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded, or at least wealthy adjacent. Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients, participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Norma Diaz, owner of La Rosa Fruit Bars and Ice Cream.
Hi, I'm Norma Diaz from La Rosa Fruit Bars and Ice Cream, and I'm a client and friend of Paul Sheldon. I've known Paul for many, many years, and my parents happened to be his first clients. So, of course, I called Paul and immediately felt this peace come over me, knowing that I didn't have to freak out about making a big decision. His knowledge about Medicare and your health insurance needs are beyond compare, and I was taken care of immediately by his wonderful staff. He knew everything that I needed and what I wouldn't need, so I was pretty much in and out of there in record time. If you're getting to that age or you're going to be needing to know about Medicare, then he's the one to call. He will totally help you out and get you pointed in the right direction. You're going to leave there feeling a great accomplishment and no concerns. And even if you have questions later, his staff can help you out. Those feelings are just priceless to me. So call Paul. You'll be glad you did.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
I love this song. So what is the giggling about that?
Well,
It's not about
one,
my
you
selection.
singing and dancing to it, but two, it also reminds me of one of my favorite comedies, Austin Powers.
Is that in that movie?
Yeah, a very small portion of it is, yeah, but yeah.
Get ready, because there's more to come. All right, let's get back to the first video, the first incident that happened 11 days before Alex Preddy was shot. Let me just ask you a couple of questions. Have you ever seen a suspect? Because at that point, after Alex Preddy commits a federal crime, he is a suspect. Have you ever heard of law enforcement on any level coming in contact with a suspect who is armed and they didn't even know it? For those of you pushing back on my statement to start the show that these guys are ill-trained, he commits a crime. They're apparently not even concerned with the crime. They just want to punish him physically. They jump out of the car. They rough him up. We clearly see the very same gun because apparently everybody's saying he's wearing the same outfit he was wearing 11 days earlier. And his shirt goes up and we see the gun in his holster. And these guys didn't even pat him down. Does that sound like police training that you're aware of, that you've heard of, that you've experienced, that you know of? Where a man commits a crime, the cops jump out of the car, the guy's got a gun, and he walks away from the incident, never being patted down, still got his gun, and he ain't going to jail, despite the fact that he just destroyed federal property. That don't make no sense, as Sadie Bailey used to say. That just don't make no sense. And so I think this bears, and then there's the other question. And I have no idea what the answer is. Were those core of agents the very same agents that encountered him 11 days later? Because it's my thesis, which goes against what Howard believes, that a crime wasn't committed by Alex Preddy 11 days later. He was coming to the aid of this woman, who I don't think was committing a crime either. There was no arrest going on that we saw. They weren't going into an apartment, they were stopping them. It just highlights this. So now Tom Homan is in. Even Homan said today, I wouldn't be here if there wasn't a problem. Greg Bovino, he didn't say this, but I'll say it. Greg Bovino would still be here being the face and voice of what we're trying to do here if there was a problem. And he said, nothing's perfect. Yes, it's imperfect. And I'm here now. And he talked about what they're going to prioritize. He said they're going to prioritize criminal threats. They're going to focus on the jails, find illegal aliens who have been accused and are being detained on criminal charges or convicted on criminal charges and remove them and take less agents off the street. That is a complete concession by the Trump administration. We got to go another direction. We're 10 months away from the midterms, and this just doesn't look good. Howard Marcus may be right, technically, that he got in the way of agents, and that's a crime, and that he resisted, and that's a crime. It's still not a capital crime, and it's still horrendous video for political reasons for the Republican Party. Because if it wasn't, they'd double and triple down. Bovino would still be there. Noam would still be the voice. When was the last time you heard Kristi Noem's voice? Not since she lied. Not since she said that this man targeted these people. And that now has been completely dispelled. The idea that he's some kind of assassin, that he came down with his gun to shoot these guys. Because now we know that he was in an encounter with police and never went for his gun. He was never shot. He never shot. And he had the gun again 11 days later. And to be honest, as far as I'm concerned, we don't know why he was shot. We had all kinds of reports. And because of the nature of my job, I'm kind of forced to speculate beforehand. And you've heard me concede that the initial information is the absolute worst information you're ever going to get on any type of incident like that. Because there were reports that the officer, the agent that took the gun from Preddy may have fired that weapon, and that's what caused the 9 other shots. Although now they've said that there are only 2 agents that have fired. The protocol has been a disaster. The 2 agents that shot Preddy went on paid administrative leave yesterday. Again, have you ever heard of that? We had a recent OIS here in town. Guy's already on administrative leave. The men that shot Preddy were working the very next day. That's why Tom Homan is in Minneapolis, St. Paul. This thing was getting out of control. These guys, Bovino was a joke. He was a clown. These guys have no protocol. They come in contact with a guy who commits a crime with a gun. They don't pat him down. They don't arrest him. They just let him go. They beat him up a little bit before they do, break his rib. But they don't pat him down. They don't remove his gun. They don't put him in the back in cuffs and take him to jail as he should have been. It's just crazy. We had a situation in Phoenix, apparently. You see this video where protesters are lined up along the sidewalk and the agents drove by as a drive-by and sprayed them as they drove by for absolutely no reason. We got to rein this thing in. If for no other reason, political reasons and the midterms. Quick time out. We'll talk about the shutdown next.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Democrats in the White House are narrowing in on a spending deal could avert a partial government shutdown as they
Just
negotiate
like
new
me,
restrictions for President
they
Trump's surge of
long to
immigration
be
enforcement.
close
As the
to
country reels from the deaths of two protesters at the
Why
hands
do
of federal
birds
agents in Minneapolis, the
suddenly
two sides have tentatively
appear?
agreed to separate Homeland Security funding from the rest of the
You
legislation.
are near.
President Trump says he asked Russian President
Just
Vladimir
like
Putin not to target the Ukrainian capital and other towns for 1 week as the region experiences frigid temperatures, and Putin agreed. But Russia hasn't confirmed that. Russia's been pounding Ukraine's critical infrastructure, leaving many around the country without heat in the dead of winter. More details available at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The state parole board may be keeping you from being at risk by denying 45-year-old Rory Moser parole this week. He was doing time for felony DUI when he beat his cellmate to death in North Kern State Prison in Delano in 2014. Moser believed he had done enough time for that. If you get a call from someone pretending to be a Tehachapi police sergeant or a Kern County deputy demanding immediate payment to clear a back warrant, Bear Valley police say they encountered that scam this week. They advise you not to comply, but verify. In Delano, police and the state alcoholic beverage control say they busted two people who agreed to buy booze for minors in what they call a shoulder tap operation. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Not again. This copier is always jamming.
We should call American Business Machines.
Since 1927, American Business Machines, an authorized Canon dealer, has been providing reliable office solutions. From state-of-the-art copiers to advanced printers, we ensure your business runs smoothly. Visit abm1.com or call us today at 1-877-YES-ABM1. That's 1-877-937-2261. American Business Machines, your trusted partner for all your office technology needs.
We all start as tiny seeds, needing care, love, and a little sunlight. Then boom, we sprout, stretch, and grow through the world of childhood and teen years. Before you know it, we're blooming, working, parenting, thriving. And yes, even golden petals can shine bright. Join Kern County Public Health and thrive like a poppy. Visit KernPublicHealth.com to learn more.
The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m.
Last question. What is your favorite thing to do as an 8-year-old?
As an 8-year-old,
Hurry up. You only got 30 seconds. Play volleyball. Not hang out with dad. Not come on dad's radio show. Not.
because I hardly do it. I've asked you a million times and you're just like, no.
All the fun stuff I do with dad. No, just play volleyball.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
I don't have to give up. Bobby Darren.
Real love, where are you? Real love, oh so true. And the hand I can hold, feel here as I go home. 'Cause I want, girl, to call my own. I wanna dream of us.
I don't have to dream alone. 812-537-6842 KERN. So the government's going to shut down at 12:01 Saturday. That's not a prediction. That's not a prognostication. That's a fact. And it is crazy. There were 6 appropriations bills overwhelmingly passed by the House. And this is for those of you who are smoking weed during civics class. So when a bill is passed in the House, it has to go to the Senate for approval. Goes to the Senate. Looked like there was not going to be a problem until Minnesota, until Minneapolis, until Renee Good and Alex Preddy. And this has become, and this is why the first shutdown was important, because Republicans had to fight the Democrats' new page in their script where they take an issue that they feel passionate about, I suppose, and then hold the government hostage by highlighting that and saying we're not budging on this issue to stop 78% of government spending. So if you're flying somewhere this weekend, I literally would change my plans unless it was a funeral or something vital to the family or your business. I can't get a hold of my uncle. I'm scared to death because South Carolina is experiencing record temperatures down there still, and there's another storm on the way. And guess who funds FEMA? So this is an absolute disaster. Because here's the situation. So the 6 appropriations were approved by the House. It goes to the Senate. 5 of those were approved by the Senate. The one funding DHS is being held hostage by the Democrats. And, by the way, 7 Republicans. Now, what they want to do as a compromise and what they talked about today, because the vote was 45-55, wasn't even close. And so what they're trying to do is, well, and this makes sense, let's pass the 5 appropriations that we are all bipartisanly, full-throatedly in favor of, and do a continuing resolution for the spending for DHS. Okay, let's change the bill. Again, just in case you were smoking weed during civics, when a bill is passed in the House and goes to the Senate and is changed, it thus goes back to the House. So you're saying, well, Ralph, then we can avoid this. Mike Johnson and the boys are not in DC. Congress is not in session. So if they worked it out today or tomorrow and said, we've worked it out, we're going to pass the 5 appropriations, we're going to do a continuing short-term resolution for DHS funding, but they've got nobody to send it back to because the House is. These guys get more time off than teachers. No disrespect to teachers, but you guys get a lot of days off. You know, certainly a lot more days than me and Chris. I'll tell you that, boy. We don't get Easter. We don't get 2 weeks of Christmas. We don't get summer. So don't be sending me text messages. I'm a teacher. Shut up, blah, 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 blah. I'm just saying these guys work less than you all do. This is crazy. Why are they not in session? Didn't they just get back from Christmas vacation? Weren't they out for session for 2 weeks? And before that, they were out because they didn't want to approve the woman in Arizona who was going to break the tie on the Epstein deal? This is insane. So there's absolutely no way, unless Democrats suddenly say, all right, we'll pass all 6 appropriations and we'll fund DHS. There's no way the government can stay open. And I think this helps us in the midterms because, as I said, this is another tactic by the Democratic Party to take one issue Suddenly they don't want to defund DHS and completely hold the entire government, FEMA, TSA, not paying our military hostage over this one simple appropriations bill. It's crazy. It's insane. And if Republicans are smart, they will use that all the way up until November and highlighting how incompetent and how this is becoming a pattern within the Democratic Party. This is how they operate. Screw the military. I don't give a damn about TSA. We're not going to fund. They didn't learn their lesson from George Floyd in trying to defund the cops. Now they want to defund federal agents just because you think you're riding a wave where what we're seeing and what the agents are doing and how they're going about their work isn't quite that popular right now. This is what Democrats do. They get an issue like this. They try to get a face for it, whether it's George Floyd, whether it was the Maryland man, the Maryland dad who was a Venezuelan thug, or whether it's Renee Good or Alex Preddy or this 5-year-old boy. They're back on that now because he's now in detention, which I totally disagree with. I don't understand why they sent that boy with his daddy down to Texas. I don't know why they didn't give him back to the mother, despite the fact that, yes, when they tried to give it back to the mother was afraid she was going to go to jail, so she wouldn't open the door, which is inconceivable. My mother would have broke down the damn door. My mother would have gone to jail just to have me come back home. But why they think it's a good look to have this kid, because now the Democrats, it was Castro, the twin brother, the one that ran for president down in Texas, San Antonio congressman, who went down and visited the boy. They have pictures of him, and he's depressed. He wants his mommy. He wants his classmates. He wants to give it. He's a 5-year-old boy. And we've got him in a Texas detention center with his daddy. I don't care if that's lawful. That's not a good look. That's not what the overwhelming majority of Americans wanted when we voted for Trump and we voted for a man who's going to shut down the border and stop this inundation created by the Democrats and Joe Biden. That's not what I signed for. I don't know about you. I might have to take this. It is my uncle. Should I put him on the air?
That's up to you.
Hey, Uncle Irvin, it's Ralph. I'm on the air. How you doing?
Oh, fairly well, thank you. Cold, but we all right.
You have power?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What's the temp down there in Beaufort, South Carolina?
I don't know right now, but it feels, well, I just came in maybe about 4 or 5 minutes ago, but it feels like it's in the mid-60s or so.
Mid-60s?
Yes.
Oh, I thought it was like in the 20s.
Oh, no. It's going to drop. Tonight, there's possibility of snow.
Wow. When was the last time you saw snow?
I'm sorry, last time I saw what?
When was the last time you saw snow?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm on the air. I just want to check on you. I tried to call you yesterday and couldn't get a hold of you. I just want to check, see you guys okay.
Well, if I find out anything, I'll give you a buzz.
Okay. How's Uncle Charles doing?
He's coming along well.
Okay, good. Okay. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care of yourself.
All right. You too. My favorite uncle.
Uncle's temp is off a little bit. It's 44 in Beaufort right now.
Is it?
Yeah, I just looked it up. I was curious too. I was like, no, it ain't 60.
That's what I was thinking. It ain't warmer there than it is here.
That's what I'm thinking.
How is that
like,
possible?
No way. So yeah, it is 44 degrees right now.
That's funny. My Uncle Irvin. He is, if my dad would have been 84 this summer, he's 79. And Uncle Charles, if my dad was 84, that means is turning 89 this May. Right there in the middle of downtown Beaufort, South Carolina, 1010 North Street. But anyway, here is Senate Minority Whip. We played this for you yesterday. John Barrasso breaking down what's going to happen, not if, but when, what's going to happen beginning on Saturday.
You shut down the government heading into this weekend. That means no money for FEMA at a time when half of the country is under the impact of this terrible storm, and another storm is coming. Shutting down the government also impacts TSA, air traffic control, all of those things. The Democrats will be causing chaos all across America. There are 6 appropriation bills in the Senate ready to be passed. The Democrats have had full input into all of them, and they have all passed the House. Overwhelming bipartisan numbers. Republicans are committed to working with the Democrats to keep the government open.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Let's go ahead and take a break. When we come back, you'll hear from Florida Senator Rick Scott on the possibility of separating DHS funding from the other 5 appropriations. But again, I don't even know why I'm playing this audio because it's a moot point. There's nobody to send the bill back to. If they agreed right now, okay, we're going to separate DHS funding from the other 5 that we've overwhelmingly bipartisanly agreed to, there's no other house to send it back to. Mike Johnson and the fellas he's back in Louisiana, and everybody else is wherever the hell they are. I guess Vince is home. I don't know. Mr. Valdale's probably up north. It's unbelievable. And in the meantime, while they vacate, the government's going to shut down. And if you're getting on a plane this weekend, it is going to be a nightmare. It might not even be safe. I'm telling you, if I had plans that I'm just going to vacate, just going to Vegas, I guess that's a short trip, but I'm telling you, I would not get on a plane this weekend. I really would not. Quick timeout. We're coming right back. Mr. Turnipseed will join us at the top of the hour, talk about the supervisorial vote and some other city stuff that's going on. And Daniel Petrie will talk about the Fed again. And then we'll get into 5. We've got some court stuff we'll get into. The Australian Open is coming to its finale this weekend. And Bo Nix is fighting with his head coach. Love it, love it, love it. And we've had some further explanations from some of the Hall of Fame folk explaining why they did not vote for Bill Belichick. And Bill Polian, the man who was allegedly conspired to keep Bill Belichick out, insists, I voted for Belichick. And then he said, well, first he said, I don't really remember. Then he said, well, I think there's a 90% chance that I voted for him. And then I guess they went back and checked the record somehow and concluded that he did. Did I not tell you they were going to rewrite history? I didn't get it all right, but I'm a little bit right. And we're still not at February 5th, the official announcement, where they could backtrack on this thing and put him in. Because Polian's saying, I had 3 names to write down last week, and I don't remember which ones I did, is a lie. I'm sorry. Or you're, you got Alzheimer's. One of the two. It's one of the two. You're either lying or, dude, you need to step away because you've lost your freaking mind if you can't remember 3 names that you wrote down on a piece of paper a week ago. Quick timeout. Coming right back. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, which technically won't even be, I'll be in scenic Las Vegas, Nevada, while you guys enjoy the comedy stylings of Dr. Corey Gonzalez. Have a good time with that. I'll be back on Monday, 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1, streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru. It's a new year, so why not get into the new Subaru that you put off in 2025? And just because it's a new year doesn't mean the guys over at Sangera Subaru have slowed down. So if an SUV is what you've been leaning towards, then how about leasing a 2025 Outback Premium CVT for only $229 a month for 36 months and just $4,800 due at signing? Let me say that again. $229 a month for a brand new Outback. And the offer ends February 2nd. So stop by and see my good friends Damon Culbertson and Hassan Levy. Pick out your new Outback and hit the road. And remember, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
through February 2nd, 2026. Lease 2025 Outback Premium CVT model code STG-13 for $229 a month for 36 months. $4,800 due at lease signing plus tax and license. Security deposit 10,000 mile year limit, 15 cents per mile overage. MSRP $36,506. VIN number S3333175. Buy for well-qualified buyers only. Subject to credit approval. Offer ends 2/2/26.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients, participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day. No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't find better prices. Shop and compare, we don't care. Take a look our way and come into Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Pet stains on your carpet? Carpet Outlet Plus has everything you need to make your floors pet-proof. With over 100 in-stock waterproof floors, Carpet Outlet Plus can solve your pet problems for good. We also stock over 50 colors of pet-perfect carpet. Call, click, or come by today for your free in-home estimate. Don't forget, for the do-it-yourselfer, we also offer free next-day delivery on all qualifying stock floors. And as a bonus, go to carpetoutletplus.com and apply for 12 months no-interest financing. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and
Does he get clunked over the head and he dies?
I'm trying to remember.
I think
Gold
he does.
No, because
Cogburn lives because
Yeah.
Cogburn. There's a sequel with Katharine Hepburn.
I'm trying to remember in the new one who dies. Was it Damon or was it
It's Damon.
Bridges?
No, Bridges is Rooster Cogburn. Cogburn doesn't die.
So then, then it must have.
It's
Yeah.
and the girl gets bit by a rattlesnake,
Right.
but Cogburn races to a doctor and saves her life. And the original, I haven't seen the ending. I saw the beginning of the other one. I never saw the ending. It ends classic where John
Wait.
Wayne literally jumps over a post.
You know who that little girl is now?
In the second one or the
In the most recent True Grit, the
No.
one with Matt Damon.
Uh-uh.
It's Josh Allen's wife.
Is it really?
That's Haley Steinfeld.
Wow. She was kind of a homely little girl. Not homely, but
She looks the exact same if you look at a picture of her.
really?
Oh yeah. If you looked at a picture of her or watched this movie again, you would look at her face and say, "Oh yeah, no, that's her."
I don't know. I saw her at the Golden Globes and I was like, good googling movie.
I believe they're pregnant right now.
Josh, I would have jumped on a plane with my uniform on just to be with my girlfriend if she looked like that. Because wasn't that the day they lost?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to do? 842-5376, 842-KERN. Here is a Florida Senator, Rick Scott, basically saying what I've been saying all morning, all afternoon.
So this idea that we're going to separate out now, we're not going to fund ICE is the most foolish thing I can ever hear of. So I'm not going to support this idea that we're going to do the rest of it and not support ICE.
So even if Congress was in session and we could separate DHS funding from the 5 other appropriations, there are not enough Republicans to support it. But that doesn't matter because, once again, as I said, Congress isn't in session. There's nobody to send the bill back to. So if you're getting on a plane or if it's 44 degrees in your city, isn't that I've hyped it up like my uncles had icicles hanging off the roof and were sequestered in our little house on 1010 North Street. Well, no, I just came from outside. It feels like it's in the 60s. It's 44 degrees. I'm telling you, for whatever reason, and you've got to look at the way, I know I've said this a million times, but South Carolina is shaped like a pork chop. And Beaufort is at the base of the bottom of the state. And the state starts to protrude as you go up the coast towards Charleston and towards North Carolina, and it protrudes out. And that's where the weather hits. And I really believe this, but based on the formation of the state and how Beaufort and even Savannah, Georgia, which is kind of across the Savannah River from Beaufort, the way they're situated, they avoid a lot of the heavy weather. You may have remembered going through with me the last time there was a tremendous storm down there. And it was all of South Carolina was inundated with rain and winds. And I'm scared to death for my uncles. And I call them, they're like, hey, we're fine here. We see a little rain. That's about it. Just weird. That's just very strange. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got on the board for Mr. Turnipseed comes in here?
Let's see. Ralph, why is it only white people protesting and creating chaos? As a Latino, I've been report some people I don't like to ICE. They are still out there and about.
That is a good question. And I noted a reel that I saw the other day where a Latino gentleman came on and asked the very same question. And I don't know if he was trying to be funny or if he was just being factual, but he said, you know, if the shoe was on the other foot, we wouldn't come out for y'all. If the federal government were trying to deport white people, we wouldn't be out there fighting for y'all to stay here. You know, I don't understand why white folks are coming out and getting between the police and trying to stop this. And the sad thing is, what they don't realize, yes, some of the pictures look bad. The 5-year-old, the mother being dragged out of her car and things like that. But most of these raids, and that's another thing Holman said today, they're going to be more targeted towards criminals, are targeting criminals, not just criminals who are here illegally, but criminals who have committed crimes. And that is what we voted for, to target criminals, target those who have snuck in here. Okay, fine. And now you're not even smart enough to keep your nose clean while you're here already having broken a crime? No, you got to go. You got to go. And I think you're going to see a complete shift in priority in terms of who they target. I truly believe that. What else you got?
Is there 50 grand in a paper sack in Minnesota for Tom Homan?
That's supposed to be a funny allusion to this allegation that he took 50 grand, but you know, it was your president, Mr. Democrat, who just wrote that put a presidential award around his neck in the Rose Garden. So if you got a problem with Tom Homan, you got a problem with your own president that you probably voted for twice. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it. What else you got?
Fox just reported that the Senate has reached a deal. Yay, no government shutdown. Give me 1 sec, I'll find out.
Really? This ought to be, how could that, how? So what, Democrats back down and are not going to defund DHS? Because that's the only deal they could have possibly made. Like I said, they can't, if they change the bill, they can't send it back to the House unless Mike Johnson somehow assembled a caucus in the House. And I find that incredibly hard to believe. But that is, if that's true, that is incredibly good news for so many people in the Southeast and up the border. They're suffering right now. There's another storm on the way. And to defund FEMA right now would be absolute disaster. I don't know how heavy travel is post-holidays, but even a weekend, because Congress will be back in session on Monday. This is going to be a short-term shutdown if, in fact, it goes into effect. It'll only be over the weekend, but that's the heaviest travel time, I would assume, airplane-wise. Are you finding anything on that? I would have thought
Yeah,
my
give me 1 sec.
I would have thought my phone would have gone off as well, but it did not. I got a Wall Street thing here, but
Give me 1 sec. I'm printing it for you right now.
we'll read the lead.
Senate Democrats and the White House reached a deal to fund the government, but lawmakers aren't out of the woods yet and averting potential shutdown. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and President Donald Trump labored over a deal from late Wednesday until Thursday evening after a top Senate Democrat unleashed several funding demands, and the White House accused Schumer of blocking a meeting with rank-and-file Democrats.
Well, that was kind of ambiguous. They're saying that they're not completely out of the woods, so a deal has not concretely been made, apparently. And here are some of the demands. I don't know if I broke this down to you, but here are some of the demands that are coming from the Democrats. They want to remove the masks. I don't know why that's such an issue with Democrats. And really, some of their demands are not that unreasonable. They want a uniform code of conduct. They want to require agents to remove masks and carry ID and wear body cams, which I totally agree with. We'll have more on this later, but Mike Turnipseed joins us first.
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM. Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour.
Come on
Town
in and take
Hall.
on the skin and rattle around in your bones.
Democrats in the White House are narrowing in on a spending deal that could avert a partial government shutdown as they negotiate new restrictions for President Trump's surge of immigration enforcement. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says ICE needs to be reined in.
Americans, by and large, support law enforcement. I do. And most people support border security. I do as well. But Americans do not support ICE terrorizing our streets, operating outside the law, killing American citizens. The madness and violence must end.
While President Trump says he wants to avoid a partial government shutdown.
Hopefully we won't have a shutdown. We're working on that right now. I think we're getting close. The Democrats, I don't believe, want to see it either. So we'll work in a very bipartisan way. I believe not to have a shutdown. We don't want a shutdown.
President Trump plans to announce his pick to replace Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell next week.
During his first cabinet meeting of the year, the president said he will end weeks of speculation over who will lead the central bank after Powell's term expires this May. He said he thinks that person will do a good job. The president has been extremely critical of the Fed under Powell's leadership, complaining that interest rates remain too high. Powell has insisted that the Fed stay independent of politics and make its choices based on inflation and job market data. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Venezuela's acting president Delcy Rodriguez has signed a law that will open the nation's oil sector to privatization. The move reverses a tenet of the self-proclaimed socialist movement that has ruled the country for more than 2 decades. Mixed day on Wall Street with the Dow up by 56 points, the Nasdaq dropping 172. More at townhall.com.
Is your dog a picky eater, scratching all the time, eating grass, or licking their paws until they're raw? If so, your dog's trying to tell you something. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, founder of Rough Greens here, and you may not know what your dog means, but I do. They're trying to tell you that his digestive tract is in distress. He needs live probiotics and enzymes, and guess what? You can't get that from kibble. It's not in there. The good news is you don't have to change his food to improve his health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens. It's America's #1 nutritional dog supplement for a reason. With live vitamins, omega oils, antioxidants, enzymes, and probiotics, just sprinkle it on your dog's food and watch them come back to life. More energy, shinier coat, better digestion, all in 90 days or less.
So what's
Want a
new?
happier, healthier dog? I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. Use discount code PICKY. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code PICKY. Rough Greens. So good, your dog will ask for it by name.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
An Amber Alert, what the Highway Patrol says to look for. I'm Chris Davis. 2 children were kidnapped about 1:30 Wednesday afternoon in Santa Clarita, and the Highway Patrol is asking you to keep a lookout for 9-year-old Sophia and 12-year-old Romero Ordonez. The Highway Patrol says they were taken Wednesday by 45-year-old Crystal Ordonez, who they say may be driving a black 2018 Kia Sorento. Ordonez is 45, 5 feet tall, 130 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. If you see her and the kids, you're asked to call 911. If you are in the oil or energy business in Kern County, this may be your year, says Philip Peters, Board of Supervisors Chair in the State of the County speech.
After years of uncertainty and relentless advocacy, I am thrilled to say that Kern County is finally back in the business of issuing oil and gas drilling permits.
Peters says the county has gotten 300 requests since January 2nd for new oil drilling permits, and there may be as many as 127 new wells in the county, along with solar and battery projects. Kids have been pulling a scheme for many decades to try and get adults to buy adult beverages for them. And in Delano, the police there and the state alcoholic beverage control agents arrested 2 people they say actually did it in what they call a shoulder tap operation. If you do that, you can face fines and possibly jail time. The point-in-time count of homeless people in the county has started, and the people with the Bakersfield-Kern Regional Homeless Collaborative say they hope to see fewer homeless people in the count this year because of programs that are meant to help people be housed. That's part of what the count is about, to make sure that the county is getting enough government help to help the people on the streets and in shelters. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think? This is the Army where you shoot a mile away? You got to get a post like this. You blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Thursday. Wrapping up the month of January, heading into Black History Month. The Bakersfield Open out of Bakersfield Country Club. And of course, don't forget, fellas, Valentine's Day right around the corner. Daniel Peters is going to join us at the bottom of the hour, talk about Jerome Powell and his interest rate decision in the 5. Talk about the deputy in Illinois who was found guilty of second-degree murder. He was sentenced this morning. He shot an unarmed black woman with mental issues. And the fortnight down under is coming to a close this weekend. We know what the final is on the women's side, and we'll find out tonight, or really tomorrow, but tomorrow in Australia, but around midnight here Friday, whether it's going to be, well, let me stop lying. Alcaraz is going to win and Sinner's going to win, and that'll be the final on Sunday. That's not even a prediction. That's just a fact. These guys are so. Sinner is playing Djokovic, who's 47 years old. No, he's like 38, and on his last leg, and should have got beaten by Massetti, the Italian, in the semis, but the guy DQ'd. That's the only reason Djokovic is there, so he has no chance, and nobody's going to beat Alcaraz, including Sinner. But it's going to be a great match. In the meantime, it's a Thursday. And the man from Kern Tax joins us live in studio, Mr. Michael Turnipseed. How are you, sir?
Oh, just another day in Bakersfield.
Just another manic Monday. I almost put that on the list, too.
It's Thursday, though, Ralph.
But it's not Monday. How was the county, state of the county? Where was it?
Well, it's 2 parts. They've changed. It used to be they did it all at once, but there were
With the dinner and the thing. Yeah, Mike Maggard used to take me every year. It was great.
Over at the fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
They used to have 800 people in.
Yeah.
And they changed it because with all the supervisors there, they said, well, this is a quasi meeting. So what they do is they have the state of the speech at 3:00 in the board chambers open to the public. and then the people that want to attend the dinner and have to write the check, which sells out in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be there because they used to have 800, now they have 300.
Why is that so popular?
To be seen.
Yeah, just everybody.
It's everybody who are
anybody associated with the county is there.
A lot of people from East Kern, West Kern. This is their day to show up and shake hands with people, and it's 5:30 to 8:30, so you can basically get home in an hour and a half. Like Ridgecrest is 2 hours, so you're still home by 10:30. So
yeah, I haven't been since Mr. Maggart stepped aside. I have not been invited by anyone.
Oh,
Maggart used to take me every year. It was great. It was a lot of fun. I remember the year that Leticia Perez was the chairman, and she did her Martin Luther King Jr. impression. I shouldn't even say King, just Baptist preacher. She was doing the Kamala. She was doing the Baptist, and we gonna. I was just like,
yeah. Well, she's the most.
Where did that come from?
She's the most entertaining of the.
She absolutely is.
She has the most octane in the gas tank.
Yes, she
but
does.
Philip Peters did a good job. This is
the now chairman.
The now chairman.
And
he gave it. He tried to spend all the good things that happened, like you said. 312 permits have been issued for oil wells after a long period of time. That's a positive thing. They can give up to 2,000 this year, so we'll see if they get to that mark.
Was there any discussion of the charter county? Not really.
No, because it's not baked yet. It's not done yet. This is like a first reading they had this week, and they're going to come back next meeting, I guess the meeting after to approve it finally.
But it's going on the ballot in June, correct?
It's going to go on the ballot.
Is there any question in your mind that it's going to pass? There's none in mine.
Well, it's how they structure it. If they try to do it in one measure, there's two different topics. There's the creation of the charter county, which is a good thing, but there are lots of subparts to do all you can do. There are many things that they can do to change and make the county more efficient, and that's how they decide to approach that. Because it was basically stated that, well, you can't put too many things on the ballot at one time or too many things in one measure, because even though it's for the charter, it gets confusing, and different people like and dislike different things. So, and one of the potential models is you would change how management works, how department heads are selected. You could take the sheriff, and there's 5 other people who are elected: the assessor, the treasurer, auditor, controller, DA. You can take those and make them board appointed.
Really?
Have them elected. Their counties
That makes
do
sense.
that.
That makes sense. Save us a little money.
It's depoliticizing. Well,
yeah,
your appointments are political, but it depoliticizes that they're running for a race and they got to raise money and they got to ask people for money, and it's not as seemly.
What are those positions? Did you mention? I was looking at the phone. I'm sorry.
The assessor.
Okay.
The auditor, controller, county treasurer, district attorney. District attorney. They want to remove an election for the DA. They wanted the DA appointed. They cannot do the sheriff because the sheriff has to be elected. That's not a no-brainer. That's the way it is.
Okay, let's get back to
the other ones. The DA does not, I think, have that responsibility. The DA doesn't have that. So same kind of legal. Well, so you call it protection or not.
So who would appoint the DA? The supervisors?
Where supervisors would.
Well, I don't know if I like that.
Well, that's what I mean. There's that, and I don't know if the DA is on. I know the assessor and other places they're appointed.
What do you think of that? Do they do that in the 14 other charter counties?
All of the other counties.
They don't do that in LA. The Hopeman had to run.
They're all different. The charter, you can do what you want. You can mix and match. So I don't know what the supervisors have on their mind and what I'm just talking about there's options out there.
Do you think there's a chance they would want to appoint the DA? I don't even think they want that responsibility.
I would think No,
Because if that person fails, then it falls back on them. I don't think they want to even be in that.
well, that's one thing. It's risk avertance.
Yeah.
So when they do the charter, there are lots of options and decisions in making this cake. The ingredients are quite complex.
I did not know that.
And it's do you get rid of the CAO? And several counties have created a CEO, where the CEO hires the department heads instead of
The
CAO
CAO?
of the board of supervisors.
That makes sense as well.
Well, those are a list of a long period of things that are out there, and it's going to take, by listening, it's like they're going to do one or two topics at a time. They don't want to overload it. They want to just spread it out
over elections.
So basically every 4 years there's 4 elections, 2 in the presidential year and 2 in the governor year. You could put 2 items, measure A and measure B, on and have them and do that over a period of time. So it would take a while to do that. I think that's probably what they're planning.
Well, the main priority that I saw out of this, the thing that got me all excited, was the idea of preventing Gavin Newsom or whoever the governor is from appointing the supervisors. And I'm sure that's got to be at least A or B on the first thing on the ballot, right?
That was the A. That was the B.
Okay.
The A is to create, if they put them together into one, then it's all up or all down. I think the creation is one thing because there's some other people don't agree with that because the local boys are appointing another you got to be kind of inside the tent. And the governor does the same thing. It's inside his tent. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes out and how the election is. But overall, charters can be a good thing or it could be a bad thing. For the city of Bakersfield, their charter's 100 and some years old. It's terrible.
Yes, I concur.
They can't pass anything like today's Thursday.
Yeah.
People aren't going to vote for it at the city. So they have some really draconian practices that they need to figure out a way to get people convinced to open up their charter and make some creative changes. But we'll see how that goes.
Why would they be averse to changing one? Isn't it obvious? You use the word draconian, antiquated, whatever term you want to use. If you and I can figure this out, why can't they?
Well, because way back when they started the charter, it was like, $25 for city council 100 years ago. Now it's 100. They've raised it a couple times, but it's been defeated more times when they ask for a pay raise.
Good.
And now, as you talked about, I think the school boards, they got the state law saying that they can just raise them.
Did you see that? They went from what, a couple $100 to $3,000?
That's the cap. That's a state law that allows them to do it. And of course,
God, wouldn't it be
what's the first thing you do, Ralph, if you had the choice to give yourself a pay raise?
You give yourself a pay raise.
That's absolutely what people do.
Isn't that a great position to be in?
But there are board members around who have other jobs or don't need the money, like one of the bakers.
None of them need the money, Michael.
Well,
you think there's one person on that board that needs the dough? That needs that $3,000?
I do not know.
What they need
who's on the board. I do not know who's on the Bakersfield City board.
It doesn't matter.
But
they're not somebody poor. They're not somebody living check to check. I can guarantee you that,
Ralph. I'm not defending that. But if people, instead of going to Pismo Beach for the vacation, you go to Hawaii. Now,
that's a good analogy. Instead of going to Reno, you're going to Vegas.
You go to Vegas. Instead of buying a little compact car, you buy a little nicer car.
Right.
Instead of, you could afford a little more on your mortgage so you could buy another house, even though it's not a permanent job. There are all little reasons what drive people. That's just it.
But at the end of the day, it's greed.
But there is one thing that doesn't go away, is the responsibility that board members have to do their job. And most board members, they do half a job. They vote to spend the money,
right?
But they never are accountable for what happens to it.
No.
There's no performance audits. There's no outcome-based decisions on Well, we wasted that money. You never hear that anywhere, but it happens every day.
Hell, we barely have challenges to the incumbents. Nobody's held accountable. That's why they spend like drunken sailors, because many of the city council members run unopposed. Many of the supervisors are either they're run unopposed or they're run by John Smith that nobody's ever heard of, that has no political experience, and he's taken on a veteran legislator like anybody on that board, other than maybe Chris Parlier. He's probably the least veteran politician on that board. But you're going up against Leticia Perez, as critical as I am of her, she's a savvy politician. So is David Couch. So is Jeff Flores, for that matter. All of them. And we get, this average citizen who's never been in politics trying to challenge them, and they might as well be running unopposed.
At the city of Bakersfield elections this year, there are 4 seats up. That's a majority.
Bob Smith, Andre Gonzalez, Ken Weir, and Bob Smith.
They're all up.
And they're all being challenged, at least. Andre's obviously
to my knowledge,
open.
3. I haven't.
Weir's obviously
Manpreet
open.
now Manpreet is running for state senate. So that could create even another.
Did I know that?
I got a deal today that she announced yesterday. She's ready.
Yesterday she announced?
She announced.
Yesterday. I did not know that. That's news. You're breaking news. That's what
Well,
we pay you to do.
I've already read it, but anyway.
I did not see that. How did that get by me?
She jumped into that because there was only 2 people in the race.
What state senate seat is she running?
Hurtado.
Against Hurtado?
Against Hurtado.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and then I think Valadeo's age is running for that seat too. And all there's only one Republican, so the chances are he makes it, and then it'll be a race.
Does Hurtado beat Core?
I don't know their actual balance in population to see how much is Kern County and how much is Tulare and Kings, but I think
that's an
if
interesting
If Core could be, if she was funded as she was funded in her last campaign for city council, then it could be real interesting.
Oh, the Sikhs are going to come out in full force.
Yeah,
with a lot of money.
Probably a lot more than they did on her city council race.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely.
Statewide Sikhs will be coming in.
Do you think?
Yeah, the network.
Hurtado is one of the few Democrats that I've sat down with. I had dinner with her one night with Michael Bowers and some folks, and I found her to be extremely reasonable for a Democrat.
Yeah, I had breakfast with her probably 4 or 5 months ago.
She's a nice woman.
Nice woman.
Very reasonable. And not a liberal whack.
She's more pragmatic.
Yes.
That's a good word for her, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
She thinks she's
pragmatic, moderate Democrat.
Yeah.
Wow, that's going to be an interesting race.
Yes.
I think Hurtado gets her. Just off the top of my head, I'd have to look at it closely.
Money.
You got to look at the money. You got to
is
look at the population in the 2 counties.
So you have, but I assume Hurtado already has the endorsement of the Senate Pro Tem. And all that money that they have as an incumbent. So that might help moderate, but still it's going to be interesting. It's who's going to have a better ground game and who's going to get it done. But
does she have to give
potential for change? And I know you're going to run out of time with me. But look at all the options. 4 seats. And depending on their sewer decision, depending on other things that they've made, because there's a lot of things people complain about. I met with some people today who don't like the way the city takes out its trees and doesn't replace them. They're for having a tree city, and and they wanted some help. And I said, well, it's not really whether they plant a tree or not is not on my agenda. But I shared some thoughts of what they could do and should do, and we'll see, because they're just a small group of citizens. They like trees.
Yeah. And you told me that there are some beefing against the charter county. What are their reasoning? What's their reasoning?
Well, they were up yesterday. Well, they were mostly not against having the charter. I think it was about the existing board making an appointment.
Yeah, I could see that being problematic.
Because you have to realize,
but it's better than the governor. Because I think you're right. I'm not really happy about that. Because obviously, if I'm Ralph Bailey and I'm leaving, who the hell do you think I'm going to try to appoint It's going to be somebody on my staff or somebody I know or a good friend. I'd appoint you, Mike, or Bowers or somebody.
I wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't.
So I'm not
take
in love with that. I know you wouldn't. I'm not in love with that, but it beats what we got, Papajenko, what we got going on with the governor doing it.
That's going to be the discussion.
Yeah.
And so I just hope that they split. I'm going to be talking to them over the next few days, saying, be sure you split it. Measure A to create a charter, which is just a blank piece of paper. And then you come by, the people have to vote topic by topic. And Couch mentioned this yesterday. We're going to step at a time. We're going to build the house
good idea.
step at a time.
It's a good idea.
But it's how you prioritize. Do we want to professionalize the staff? It's how you want to do things like a 2-year budget cycle instead of one, because the problem is why there's no audits. By the time the county adopts its budget in August, they're already drafting the new budget in January. And so there's no real time in there with the holidays and everything to actually evaluate programs and see what's going on. And if you go to a 2-year budget, you can spend a whole year. You've already got your budget done. And budget takes a lot of time and a lot of work.
Yeah,
and that I think is a good governance tool, a 2-year budget with mandatory performance audits and things like that. So we'll see. That'll be something we went for. Yeah.
Mike Turnipseed, everybody. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
That was a good session. Quick time out. Bottom of the hour. Daniel Petrie's next. That was good. That was good shit.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Friday edition of Clay Travis, Buck Sexton Show. We will take you to the weekend with the absolute latest on Minneapolis after Tom Homan's big address. What sort of impact do we have there as the fallout of additional videos of the supposed heroic nurse cast aspersions potentially upon that narrative in a big way? Plus, what's going to happen with what's going on in Iran? We'll break all that down for you and more. It'll be the Friday edition. Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
For adults and children living with conditions such as diabetes, heart disease, chronic lung disease, weakened immune systems, and other chronic illnesses, the risks of severe respiratory infection are significantly higher. The good news is that vaccines can help protect against serious illness. Dr. Sarah Nozel, president of the American Academy of Family Physicians, shares more. Getting vaccinated for flu, COVID-19, pneumococcal disease, and RSV could mean the difference between a mild infection and a serious life-threatening illness, particularly for infants, children, older adults, and those with chronic health conditions. If you have not had a recent doctor's visit or know you have a chronic health condition, talk to your family physician about what respiratory vaccines are right for you and your family. For more information about vaccines for adults and children living with chronic health conditions, visit familydoctor.org. For help finding a vaccination site near you, visit cveep.org. That's cveep.org.
Hi, John Hall from Don Hall Jewelers, where we are celebrating 74 years in business with our anniversary sale. Just in time for Valentine's Day, you can get Don Hall diamonds or a custom-made treasure for your special Valentine. We have a great selection of estate jewelry, pre-owned Rolex watches, and Cartier love bracelets. Come see us for that special anniversary gift and make it a Valentine's Day to remember. Don Hall Jewelers on the corner of California and Mohawk and Stockdale Tower.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m. on First Look with Scott Cox, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
There you go. That's brilliant.
Round the fire, you won't do for love. And tried everything, but you talking about in my world. Sorry.
Have a wonderful weekend, Mr. Turnipseed. Nice work today, sir. Mike Turnipseed, everybody. And this is Bobby. Who is this? Bobby Caldwell? I'm the love you see. We're revamping the music. I just got to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. Let's read a text message and get Daniel Petrie in here.
Hi, Ralph. I just heard on the news that Paul Stanley from KISS just dropped a $50 million lawsuit against The View, and it looks like he's definitely going to win. Keep in mind, he's Jewish, and he has a lot of powerful Jewish lawyers that actually hate The View.
What is the basis of the lawsuit? Did they say?
They do not.
And who is it? Paul Stanley? Mike, who is Paul Stanley? I don't know who Paul Stanley is.
Paul Stanley would be the guitarist for, the singer for the KISS.
Oh, Paul Stanley. The only one I know is Gene.
He was the one with the star on his face.
No, I thought they all had stars on their faces.
I know. All had different paint.
The only one I know is Gene. It's the only one I know.
Who played?
Gene with the tongue. Who played what?
What instrument did Gene play?
Come
on, man. He's like literally the only one you could get excited about.
Guitar?
No.
He didn't play the drums.
He was a bass player.
What? Bass, tenor, alto. What the hell do I know? I'm the most non-musical person you ever met in your life. I just know he was married to a beautiful blonde who was a soft porn star. Like not like a porn star, but she did like sexy R movies where she got naked a lot. I can't remember her name. Daniel Petrie joins us next. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Authorities say a man claiming to be an FBI agent showed up to a federal jail in New York City.
You change your mind about sticking in the ground, let me
he had
know.
a court order to release Luigi Mangione. The man was arrested and charged with impersonating an FBI agent in a foiled bid to free Mangione from the Metropolitan Detention Center, where he's being held while awaiting state and federal murder trials in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Democrats in the White House are narrowing in on a spending deal that could avert a partial government shutdown as they negotiate new restrictions for President Donald Trump's surge of immigration enforcement. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 56 points, the Nasdaq dropped 172, the S&P 500 declined 3. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm Chris Davis. An Amber Alert was issued for 2 kidnapped kids and the person the Highway Patrol says took them from Santa Clarita Wednesday afternoon. They are 9-year-old Sophia and 12-year-old Romero Ordonez. The suspected abductor is 45-year-old Crystal Ordonez, and they may be in a black Kia Sorento. Kern County supervisors are excited about the possible 127 new oil wells that could be in the county soon, with 300 drilling permits requested since the beginning of the year. That info was made public in Wednesday's State of the County speech. Supervisors also say several battery and solar projects may be in the works. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Vance Furtado.
Hi, my name is Vance Furtado, and I saw Paul Sheldon's advertising, and my wife and I were going to need to begin Medicare very soon, and we thought he would be a great guy to talk to. And we were not disappointed. He and his staff were excellent. They provided much needed guidance for us, and we would recommend Paul Sheldon and his agency to anyone desiring help when it comes to figuring out the confusing world of Medicare. Medicare can be so terribly confusing. That's why my wife and I were so glad that we went to Paul Sheldon. He and his staff were incredibly helpful to us. So I would recommend Paul and his agency to anyone. Thank you, Paul, for all the help that you provided, giving us an excellent sense and direction of how best to satisfy our needs when it comes to Medicare.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
Friday's Armstrong and Getty show. We did not like to talk about government shutdowns, but it looks like we might be headed to one with the whole funding DHS ICE thing.
And are criminal gangs and foreign governments actually using your computer and your phone while you're sleeping?
Ooh.
There's a pretty good chance that they are.
What?
They're inside it already. We'll talk about that and bring you the news of the day on the next Armstrong and Getty show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
I'm JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, weekdays at 2 p.m. Now, back to The Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
It's a Thursday. Time to head to 21st and O. The offices of Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors is Encore Performance this week. Mr. Daniel Petrie, how are you, sir?
I am well.
I
How are you?
heard some good news for you last night.
Uh-oh.
I was watching Chuck and Kenny the Jet and Shaq Daddy and Ernie last night.
Yeah.
And they were saying that there is a distinct possibility that Jason Tatum is going to play this year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I saw something today saying there was that speculation that he might, but I saw something today that he had decided to shut it down.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
so I don't know if he wants to mess with the chemistry or risk it coming back early. I don't know what the reasoning was.
I don't blame him. But the reason it made news is because Chuck was saying he thinks that if they came back, they could win the East. He thinks they're better than Detroit. They're better than he thought the Knicks. He was saying he thought the Knicks were going to be the team this year, and they haven't lived up to it. They thought this was going to be their year, and now Detroit is emerging. But he was like, if he comes back the way Brown is playing right now, they'd be the favorite to win the East because Philly can't do it either.
Does he mess the chemistry up? Because right now it's Brown's team, kind of speaking.
Yeah, it is.
Tatum's team.
Yeah, it really is. It really did shift.
I don't know if they could work that out or not in a short time.
Yeah, not sure either. Anything new since we talked yesterday?
Goodness gracious.
Yes?
I've never seen the volatility in gold and silver. I think from the highs to the lows today, gold moved 500 points.
Down?
Well, I mean, it's not, it was from the highs to the lows today, it was down, but week over week, it's still up. We do it on Thursdays and it's up over 9% since last Thursday. But I don't remember the high it hit, but 500 points is a big day. And $15. Silver moved $15 from the high. I think it got close to 120. It went all the way down, I think, to 105 today, maybe 106 each.
Wow.
And right now, silver's between 117 and 118, and gold is sitting around 54.20. I'll say 54.23.
Those are still amazing numbers.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Those are still amazing numbers.
Yes, good runs for the week, considering where we were. Gold is up over 9. Silver had a 21% run. Silver could correct all the way, I think, back into the 90s and still be in a bull market.
Yeah.
It was odd, though. I didn't see anything that would cause it except that, it's had a tremendous run. So, and usually bull market corrections tend to be very quick and very
short-lived.
Well, short-lived but violent. Like they go down quite a bit, but it's very short-lived because buyers come back in.
Yeah.
So I don't think it means a whole heck of a lot, but it sure doesn't help with acid reflux.
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. Particularly for you.
Thank you for noticing.
As clients, I just keep getting those letters and
month over month everybody's happy, but day to day wiggles can be it can be a little bit nerve rattling.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
Well, hopefully my body holds up.
We're getting
old isn't very friendly.
We're getting kind of mixed reports out of Washington in terms of the government shutdown. There's a report that a deal has been made for the 6-bill package. I don't understand how this works, because if they change the bill, it's still got to go back to the House, which means they may have created a deal, but that doesn't avert the shutdown over the weekend. Congress returns on Monday, so they could, it'll just be a 2-day shutdown, but that's still disastrous for folks that are freezing and don't have electricity and need FEMA, or folks that are going to be traveling over the weekend. How does even a 48-hour shutdown impact the economy?
Well, it's not encouraging, obviously, because it leads to uncertainty, and we've gone over this before. How long does it last, or what will an agreement look like? And it doesn't help when they do that.
No.
Has it been? I haven't heard. It seems like that would be front center news, but maybe with ICE and everything else going on in the world, I know it's been out there, but
what, the government shutdown?
Yes.
I think because it's as much a consensus that it's going to happen Saturday, that there's a consensus that there would be till maybe Monday or Tuesday when Congress gets back into the session.
Oh, they bought themselves.
Send the bill back to the House. Yeah. But I think that the demands, but we can't let them keep getting away with this, Daniel. What are your thoughts? This idea that they're holding hostage 78% of the government spending over one issue. First, it was medical issues, and now it's they passed this thing in the House
funding, right,
overwhelmingly, all 6 appropriations. And what changed? Minneapolis, St. Paul. And then all of a sudden they get back, they haven't learned their lesson from defunding the police, and they're now talking about defunding federal agents because they think that the overwhelming majority of Americans are with them on this. And I'm not sure of that. I'm not I think I'm the typical guy. I really do. I'm in favor of ICE. I think they have to do what they have to do, but they need to change their tactics. And I think that's why Tom Homan is there, and the president has sent out signals that they're going to change their approach. And I think that's the big deal.
I don't like being held hostage. I get stubborn.
Exactly.
I'm like, you're going to make me do this? I'm sorry. I might have met you halfway, but now, forget it.
Yeah.
And so you eat it. You want to shut it down, you shut it down and see how long that helps you. So
the Democrats want to end roving ICE patrols. They want uniform code of conduct, and they want and why they're obsessed with this, I don't understand, but they want to require the agents to remove their masks. I don't understand why they're obsessed with that. But they also want them to carry ID and wear body cams, which I think is absolutely reasonable. And I think it's crazy in 2026 that those guys don't have body cams. That's crazy.
Yeah, it works. It can work both ways, I suppose.
Yeah, it defends them and the suspects.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
I would think they could come to some type of an agreement. I mean, but I would never let them. Well, I'm not going to defund a program that we've already approved just because you're unhappy.
Yeah, or just because they think they found a political chess piece that they can use heading into the midterms.
Exactly,
because that
would be my answer to them. If you think we're that bad, then beat us in the midterms.
Yeah.
We'll argue it out at the polls.
Absolutely. How are we doing with the deficit?
Oh,
God,
same.
It's never bright. It hasn't been bright news in 10 years.
Well, and sometimes I wonder, should I even keep, because I do track it and then I'll look at it day to day, because I'll look at it on a Tuesday or Wednesday and see, well, how's it going? Are we going to do the same type of week? And it's something I would keep track of, but not as closely. The radio show has helped me do that. And I've actually enjoyed doing it, but it's sad.
It's depressing.
Yeah, I mean, the trade deficit was as big as it's ever been. The tariffs didn't help so far that. I don't know. I want to say, can't we just all get along?
All right, Rodney.
Yeah, right. Can't we just say no to, Well, who's the guy who running in New York and said just don't say no to higher rent or what? Remember that?
No.
It was a long time ago, and he had just kind of a one catchphrase that he was running for. Was it no rent controls or no? He wanted rent. I don't. Something about lower rent. He wanted lower rent in New York.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, we live in. It's bizarre that we live in cuckoo land, and you and me and everybody else is forced to manage our paycheck and not have a deficit in our checking, or we run into problems, or we can't borrow, and yet our federal government can do it week after week, year after year, and there's nobody blinks or cares.
And the other issue, because, this has always been the case, but it's never been as exorbitant or crazy as it is now, how these people come to Congress, the Senate, or particularly, obviously, the presidency, many of them living essentially check to check. A nice lifestyle check to check, don't get me wrong, but to some degree, check to check. And then they leave Congress or the Senate or certainly the presidency, and they're multimillionaires.
Yeah,
they're multimillionaires.
Look at Ilhan Omar.
You name a congressperson.
Yeah.
Jasmine Crockett. She's worth $25 million. She was a low-level attorney. She now has
what was it worth when they went in $100,000.
Yeah, she has 3 homes.
It's impossible. I don't see how it's possible without fraud.
There's no way it's possible.
I know, but what is the fraud? Or maybe they're all doing it so they don't want to uncover it. I don't know.
Siphoning money out of their campaign deals, setting up foundations and siphoning some of that money and putting it in a foundation and then claiming it as your own. I have no idea, but it's insane. Or insider trading, how Nancy Pelosi has done that.
Yeah, well, remember Clinton and cattle futures? I mean,
yes.
Some of these returns are impossible normally.
The government are the biggest offenders of insider trading than anyone in New York. Anyone.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It drives me nuts.
It's sad. It shouldn't be. I mean, if you and I can't do it and get away with it, which I wouldn't want to anyway, because I'm an honest man, but then surely our elected officials can't, or those who represent us shouldn't be able to.
You would think. And you would think we would be angrier about it.
Yes.
But we're not, and we allow it.
We may not elect the same person, but the one we do elect does the same thing the others did.
We have met the enemy, and he is us. Because part of that, I think, falls on us, and us not banging the cage enough, or getting other people in there to stop making these people lifetime appointments.
And if you're ambitious, you become a politician because you can get rich by doing whatever it is they do.
I wish I had known. I might have kept my
I don't know. Even if I didn't do it, I don't think I could get elected. Or if I did, I could get elected.
No, it's not that difficult. If some of the knuckleheads if George Santos can get elected, I can get elected. I remember somebody called in and said, "Ralph, you have too many skeletons in your closet." I'm like, not that anybody doesn't know about.
Heck, our skeletons could get elected.
Skeletons mean there's something about you that nobody knows.
Yeah,
everybody knows my faults.
Yeah,
it's not. I'm an open book. That's part of the show that I vomit everything that's going on in my life. Crazy.
Yeah.
I'll leave you with this. You're a Boston guy. Thank you, sir.
We like your vomit.
Thank you.
Go ahead. Sorry.
What are you, a dog?
I hope not.
Dude,
I didn't mean it that way. Okay.
The first time I ever saw Rusty, our dog, eat vomit, I literally threw up right there on the spot.
Well, yeah. Well, don't have a cat and a dog together.
It's a true story. I tried to feed Rusty a fat burger, and he got sick as a dog, literally and figuratively, and then started eating his own vomit, and I threw up right there in the backyard. I don't even know why I'm repeating that memory.
Did Rusty like that as well?
No, we quickly hosed it down.
No. The audience is struggling to
I know.
keep dinner down.
Sorry about that, y'all. Yeah, you're right. I will leave you with this: the Boston guy and the New England Patriot fan. Your thoughts on Bill Belichick?
I mean, that should have been. he's a great coach. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's the best ever. He should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer because those of that quality are usually first ballot Hall of Famers. There's a special echelon for getting it on the first try.
Yes, it means something.
Yeah.
Because did you hear what some of the voters are now saying? At least two came out and said that one of the reasons they did not vote for Bill Belichick wasn't that Spygate, it wasn't that they didn't think he was worthy, but that L.C. Greenwood, who was part of the Steel Curtain with the Steelers, Roger Craig, who was a badass running back for the 49ers at their height.
I remember Roger Craig, yeah.
And Kenny Reed, who was an outstanding quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, lost to the 49ers in 81, were on their last leg.
I did hear that.
And that they had to, if
they
you
didn't get it now, they wouldn't get in.
Yeah. And I said to myself when I heard that this morning, that's crap. That's crap. Hall of Fame should be difficult to get into. Right. And Hall of Fame should be like this. Chris Burdick. Oh, definitely. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be Ralph Bailey. Well, he was nice. No, then he's not in.
And if you're struggling to get in on your last ballot or last ability, then maybe you shouldn't have been in the first place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People don't understand. Do you know how it gets to the senior committee? You've been passed over for 20 years.
Right.
For 20 years. If your colleagues and the writers don't think you're Hall of Fame over 20 years, guess what? You're probably not Hall of Fame. Now, there's always exceptions to the rule because I love that they got Sterling Sharp in.
Right.
Because Sharp had the skills, but he didn't have the numbers or the longevity because of a neck injury. But there's no debate that his level of play was Hall of Fame, so the committee allowed him in as he got stood up for like 15 years, 20 years. But other than that, that's crap, in my opinion.
Vote for who you want to, but that was a slap in the face to Belichick.
Yes, it was. And it was all about Bill Polian, if you ask me.
I tend to, there was more there. I mean, they say nothing about Spygate or Deflategate, but that, to me, it was in the back of their mind.
It was personal. It was either about that or Deflategate or because Jimmy Johnson was on television last night and said everybody was doing it. It was back before they could talk, and everybody was stealing signs, and everybody was using binoculars.
Right.
Jimmy was like,
"That's the same thing to Brady on his first time."
Well, they didn't let Kraft in either.
Yeah, that's.
But we talked about it yesterday. Chris and I both agreed there's no way in the world. If they're truly being honest about what they're saying, they won't let Brady in on a first ballot. But there's no way. They're already a laughing stock of sports. There's no way they don't let Brady in.
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, obviously he'll get in there and he'll get in there next time. But first ballot guys
means something.
Yeah.
And as I pointed out yesterday, what if he passes away before next year? Doesn't get to see it done like Pete. Just saying. Got to fly, Daniel. Always great to talk to you, sir. Have a wonderful weekend.
Have a good weekend, Ralph.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Okay, bud. Bye.
Daniel Petrie, quick timeout. Not a lot of time. We'll check the board. We'll get into the 5. I'll tell you the story of the Illinois deputy who was found guilty of second-degree murder for shooting an unarmed woman. He got sentenced today. Talk a little sports when we get out of here. The Australian Open winds down this weekend. First tennis major of the year, and it looks like it's going to be Sinner and Alcaraz in the final. You want to do it again? Want to do it again on the finals?
No.
What? Don't you like Sinner? And I'm an Alcaraz man.
I honestly like both of them.
I do too. Their level of tennis is just stupid. Did you see him beat Ben Shelton? That was amazing. Because Shelton has a literally 140 mile per hour serve. And Sinner made it look like a changeup. He is awesome, but I don't think he's better than Alcaraz. I really don't. Wouldn't it be funny if they both got beat in the semi? Tonight at about midnight, I'll be up late. Quick break. We're coming right back. It's TRBS on a Thursday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM.
Adaptive.
Start your day right. First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, which technically won't even be, I'll be in scenic Las Vegas, Nevada, while you guys enjoy the comedy stylings of Dr. Corey Gonzalez. Have a good time with that. I'll be back on Monday, 6 to 9 a.m., right here at News Talk 96.1, streaming live on the internet at kernradio.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, 6 to 9 a.m. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The Kern Radio studios are powered by Adaptive Networks. For all your IT needs, call Adaptive Networks at 661-241-0638 or online at adaptive-net.com. Because for you business owners, how many times have you called your IT company and felt like just another ticket number? Well, at Adaptive Networks, and we know this well because we're a client of Adaptive Networks, exceptional customer service isn't just a promise, it's how they do business every single day. And again, I want to be redundant about this. Do you understand how important IT is to a radio station? So for us to turn to Adaptive Networks says a lot. I mean, yes, they're right across the parking lot from us, but their incredible customer service, their ability to get us back up on the air and handle all of our problems immediately is what makes them incredibly special. Head to Adaptive Networks if you'd like to change all of your IT needs to someone who's going to respond and respond quickly and effectively. It's Adaptive Networks, 661-241-0638, 241-0638, or online at adaptive-net.com.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, visit fvgradio.com.
If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise.
See website for complete details.
We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird.
An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it?
Call now, 800-417-6411. 800-417-6411. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and you get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-417-6411 and give us your answer.
The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
The Armstrong and Getty Show, weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show.
A little more Grateful Dead for you. Is a friend of mine. I'm headed to the chat room for those subscribing on YouTube to see what you guys are talking about. There are a number of folks in the chat room today, and Ray is saying, wait, Sergio first, this is not a partisan issue. Thanks for the clarification, Ralph. We need it right now. Ray says is overacting in the moment, I guess. Sorry, is overacting in the moment. Confidential, considered justified. Hang on a second. Glasses. Let's see what's going on here. I'm just saying. Josh writes, he was wearing the same outfit on one of the videos. He kicked off the taillight so hard that the Ford logos came out. Looks like AI to me, Ralph. No, that wasn't AI. That was real. Sergio says, I thought the same thing. Can't believe what we see anymore because it might be generated. Is the DHS worth holding the U.S. government hostage? Absolutely not. And apparently a deal may have been struck. Ray says, the press photo of Alex with the veterans in wheelchairs is, I think, AI. JJ writes, Ralph, just letting you know, myself, Carlos, Guillermo, Adolfo, and Rogelio are all on Team Howard Marcus. Okay. I don't know why you wanted me to know that, but okay. N. Rivera says, Ralph, for once, I agree with your take on the Minneapolis incident. And then says, appreciate your take this time. Okay. Even a broken clock's right twice a day. It's the mob writes, David was at Golden Oak Elementary School in Shafter today. David was at Golden Oak Elementary School in Shafter today. What David he's talking about, I guess we're supposed to read his mind. Ray says, does assessor handle elections? That's county clerk, right? Yes. Absolutely right. And somebody says, can Adaptive Network fix your AM radio feed? Ha ha ha. Very funny, very funny, very funny. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What do you got, Chris?
Like Malcolm X said, in general, the white liberal is one of the biggest enemies to the people of color.
You damn right. You damn right. You damn right. And that was brilliant of Malcolm X to say. He's absolutely right. They are wrought with guilt. I don't know what it is. They are the most dangerous bigots on the planet by far. I absolutely agree with Malcolm, and I agree with that great illusion. What else you got? What else you got?
Governor Walz just announced that he is done with politics forever and will never run for office again. He is in the same boat as Zach Scrivener.
Yeah, because he's caught up in a scandal that he's been able to divert from with all this nonsense in his state. Because I don't think it's a coincidence that right when the fraud scandal erupted, we began to see more organized chaos, an oxymoron, nevertheless, organized chaos in Minneapolis, St. Paul. I don't think that's a coincidence. I really don't. Because we're not talking about the fraud, are we? We head toward the 5 o'clock hour. Speaking of fraud, I won't spend a lot of time on it, but a lot of people are joining me in questioning the whole attack, I say in air quotes, on Ilhan Omar. A picture of her and her alleged assailant has popped up. And don't you find it curious that she was sprayed with some unknown liquid and never took off her blouse? That seems extremely odd to me. We headed to the 5. Don't go anywhere.
This is AM 1180 KERN Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. There's a new and strange development in Luigi Mangione's case.
Authorities say a man claiming to be an FBI agent showed up to a federal jail in New York City and told officers he had a court order to release Luigi Mangione. The man was arrested and charged with impersonating an FBI agent in a foiled bid to free Mangione from the Metropolitan Detention Center. That's where Mangione is being held, awaiting state and federal murder trials in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. A criminal complaint filed against 36-year-old Mark Anderson did not identify the person that he attempted to free, but a law enforcement official familiar with the matter confirmed it was Mangione. The official was not authorized to speak publicly on the matter. I'm Haya Panjwani.
President Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, says immigration enforcement will reduce the number of officers in Minnesota. He says he had productive discussions with Minnesota officials.
In my meetings with folks so far, most important, the governor and the AG, the Mayor Fry, we didn't agree on everything. I didn't expect to agree on anything. I've heard many people want to know why we're talking to people who they don't consider friends to administration. Bottom line is you can't fix problems if you don't have discussions.
Meanwhile, Democrats and the White House struck a deal to avert a partial government shutdown and temporarily fund the Department of Homeland Security on Thursday as they consider new restrictions for President Trump's surge of immigration enforcement. The two sides have agreed to separate Homeland Security funding from a larger spending bill and fund the Homeland Department for 2 weeks. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 56 points, the Nasdaq dropped 172, the S&P declined 9. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all the customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Micro, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250 Micro for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
An Amber Alert, what the Highway Patrol says to look for. I'm Chris Davis. 2 children were kidnapped about 1:30 Wednesday afternoon in Santa Clarita, and the Highway Patrol is asking you to keep a lookout for 9-year-old Sophia and 12-year-old Romero Ordonez. The Highway Patrol says they were taken Wednesday by 45-year-old Crystal Ordonez, who they say may be driving a black 2018 Kia Sorento. Ordonez is 45, 5 feet tall, 130 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. If you see her and the kids, you're asked to call 911. If you are in the oil or energy business in Kern County, this may be your year, says Philip Peters, Board of Supervisors Chair in the State of the County speech.
After years of uncertainty and relentless advocacy, I am thrilled to say that Kern County is finally back in the business of issuance.
Peters says the county has gotten 300 requests since January 2nd for new oil drilling permits, and there may be as many as 127 new wells in the county, along with solar and battery projects. Kids have been pulling a scheme for many decades to try and get adults to buy adult beverages for them. And in Delano, the police there and the state alcoholic beverage control agents arrested 2 people they say actually did it in what they call a shoulder tap operation. If you do that, you can face fines and possibly jail time. The point-in-time count of homeless people in the county has started, and the people with the Bakersfield-Kern Regional Homeless Collaborative say they hope to see fewer homeless people in the count this year because of programs that are meant to help people be housed. That's part of what the count is about, to make sure that the county is getting enough government help to help the people on the streets and in shelters. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN Newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
What do you think this is, the Army where you shoot them a mile away? You got to get a post like this. Bing, you blow their brains all over your nice Ivy League suit.
It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Now make sure you leave the house when you make the call. You understand me? You hear me? Call from an outside line. I mean it.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast on this Thursday. Final week in January as we head into Black History Month. Don't forget, each day throughout the month of February, I'll be highlighting a notable African American. I'm going to do a little bit something different this year in 2026. I'm going to highlight African Americans that I'm pretty certain an overwhelming majority of the audience probably have never heard of. So you're probably not going to hear the bio of Jack Robinson or Muhammad Ali or Dr. King, but you'll hear people like Ralph Abernathy, James Baldwin, Mary Bethune, who you see depicted right here, who helped establish Bethune-Cookman College, an historically black college, just trying to do something a little bit different. And I continue to do it because I always, each year I get some positive reaction from doing that. Appreciation, mostly from black folks. But speaking of appreciation, you know, I told you I had dinner last night with our new client, Mike Arier, Big Mike's Rage and Barbecue. And yes, after 9 years, he's still raging hot. And Cassie Biddle, who's the hardest working restaurant owner. It's her, Jeff Salters, and Gino Valpredo are the hardest working restaurant owners I've ever seen. Where, I don't know about Jeff, because I've never really had, I Uber eat a lot of Salties. I used to. But I've never been in Salties, to be honest with you. And I've eaten there many, many times, but I've never had it in the restaurant. So I can't speak of this, but Gino and Cassie can be seen serving food. And so she brought our plates to our table last night. Mike had a steak and a big baked potato, and I had New York and sliced tomatoes. And she mentioned that and said that someone had come in during the week and heard that my baked potato days were over. And he said to Cassie, "We're having a baked potato in honor of Ralph Bailey." I love when you all do that. It really helps us when you go to our sponsors, be it Casey Steakhouse or Luigi's, or you become a client at Messmaker Peachy Wealth Advisors, or you're buying a Subaru out there at St. Garrett, the Bakersfield Auto Mall, or any one of our clients, and you mention that you heard about them from the radio show. Now, obviously, when you go to Luigi's, they don't need any advertising, but if you just say, "I heard Ralph talk about the restaurant on the show," even helps. That really, really does. And I just thought that was funny. It was frustrating to sit there and watch Mike devour a baked potato while I was eating sliced tomatoes. Boy, I'll tell you, it really was. But nevertheless, ask me what I had for breakfast.
What did you have for breakfast?
I didn't have tuna fish. I broke my damn can opener. You know how you get set for something and you got your mind set? And I was like, I'm going to have tuna fish with just a spat of mayonnaise and boiled eggs, and I'm going to chop some avocado in there, and got in there, and my can opener, which I'm almost certain was given to me by Shauna Haddad. And it was a really, really nice can opener, and I broke it. So now I have to buy a pot, a boiling pot, and a can opener. I'm like the most pathetic bachelor in the history of bachelorism. I really am. It's very sad. Very, very sad. 842-5376, 842-KERN. So am I the only person that finds this whole, what is the first name? Elon Omar. Anybody find that whole situation weird? Now, I didn't notice it, but some are analyzing it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, which I'd find hard to believe, but she was giving a speech, and a man by the name of Anthony Kazmierzak, I don't know, Kazmierzak, that's my best shot, Kazmierzak, been arrested. He poured apple cider vinegar on the Congresswoman, but there are just a couple of things that seem bizarre. And maybe this is nitpicking. I noticed, as I mentioned, she didn't change blouses. Like, even if she had to put on a campaign t-shirt, that's the first thing I would do. If somebody sprayed me with something and they were attacking me and I have no idea what it is, and have you ever smelled apple vinegar? It's a horrendous smell. I've smelled it, so you could probably recognize it. But my first instinct would be, is this gasoline? Is this what? I got to get this shirt off. And she refused to do that and wanted to continue in a Teddy Roosevelt-like way to finish her speech. For those who are not aware of history, Teddy Roosevelt was once shot in the chest. The bullet was stopped by a pair of glasses, but was lodged in his chest, and he continued to go on and give another 45 minutes of his speech. That was the allusion to Teddy Roosevelt. But the other thing that I caught that was extremely bizarre or uncharacteristic of a unknown attacker. Have you seen the video, Chris?
I have not, actually.
He comes up and sprays her with the vinegar and kind of backs up and starts talking to her. And as her security goes to tackle her, she approaches him. Now, maybe Elon Omar is just a badass woman, but you've just been attacked by a man out of the audience whom you claim you don't know, and you're like chasing after him. Go look at the video if you didn't notice this. I've never seen that before in my life. Maybe she's different. I can't get in this woman's mind, but when you put all these things together, and others who've examined the video claim that right before the attacker got up, she seems to look up and give him like a look. Now, I think that might be a little ticky-tack, but the fact that a picture popped up of the two of them, that she took a selfie with this guy, seems mighty Jesse Smollett to me. You know what I'm saying? And Trump was thinking exactly what I thought, that she made this up, that this is more diversion from the fraud situation in Minnesota, which somehow I have to believe that she is remotely involved in, just because I think she's as dishonest and as disreputable as it comes. I don't know. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time on that because I don't want to spend a lot of time on her, but I just thought that was just a little bizarre. You get sprayed with something, even if you know it's apple vinegar. I don't want to walk around smelling like apple cider vinegar. Maybe I'm nitpicking. I don't know. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What else you got?
We don't got anything. We're
All right, let's go ahead and take a break and we come back. A deputy was called to the home of a young woman by the name of Sonia Massey. Her mother had called police the day before in Illinois and stated that my daughter is suffering from mental issues, but I would sure like if you could do a check, a home check. She said, the mother did, but please be careful and be nice to her because she does have mental issues. Well, the next day, Sonia Massey called the police thinking there was an intruder. The police came, they staked out the house, didn't find anything, came into the house, had a conversation with the woman in the kitchen. She then went to a boiling pot of water and said something to the effect, "May God have mercy on your soul," or something to that effect. And one of the deputies took that as a threat that she was going to throw the water on him. So he shot her. He was found guilty of second-degree murder. I'll tell you his fate when we come back. We'll talk a little sports, more on Bill Belichick, the row between Bo Nix and Sean Payton, and the Australian Open is coming to a conclusion this weekend. All that's coming up. It's the Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 AM 1180 KERN. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Casey.
Sexton Show, we will take you into the weekend with the absolute latest on Minneapolis after Tom Homan's big address. What sort of impact do we have there as the fallout of additional videos of the supposed heroic nurse cast aspersions potentially upon that narrative in a big way? Plus, what's going to happen with what's going on in Iran? We'll break all that down for you and more. It'll be the Friday edition. Clay and Buck.
Live 9 to noon. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
As I just mentioned, my new client and I had dinner at Casey Steakhouse. Our new client being Mike Arier, local caterer, former NFL star, and overall good egg. Mike had the filet covered in shrimp and a béarnaise sauce. Oh, it looks so good. And a baked potato, of course, and the vegetables. I had the New York, which I'm having for dinner again tonight with some scrambled eggs. I didn't do it this morning, but I'm looking forward to it. And we had a great time. Michelle and all the cast and crew at Casey Steakhouse just treats everybody like family. It's just a wonderful place. For those that have never been, you're denying yourself a great pleasure because it was the listeners and the residents who voted Casey Steakhouse the finest steakhouse in all of Kern County. Get down to F Street. And with Valentine's Day, Cassie Biddle has it looking beautiful and romantic. As I always tell you guys, nobody loves to decorate their restaurant like Cassie Biddle. Get down to F Street in the capable hands of Cassie's incredible staff at Casey Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore, and every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
The Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, live 9 to noon. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
Big Jagger and the Rolling Stones. I'm so hot for her. I'm so hot for her. What are you doing? What are you doing? She's so cold. Young 17-year-old running around in Los Angeles, my little RX-7. Oh, good. Enjoy it, Burdick. Enjoy it. I'm telling you. You turn around, you'd be 63 years old and be like, you know that old black man I used to work for? He told me. I hated his guts, but he told me. Let me tell you about the story out of Illinois. I'm reading from the New York Post. The Illinois sheriff's deputy who shot and killed Sonia Massey, a black woman who was confronted by officers at her home in 2024 after she called 911, has been sentenced to, what do you think you got? Second-degree murder.
God, with today's world, 2 years.
20 years in prison. That's why I was shocked. Yeah, for a cop, that's big time. The deputy, Sean Grayson, 31, who was white, was found guilty of second-degree murder in October, a rare instance of an American law enforcement officer convicted for an on-duty shooting. And even more rare that he got a sentence of 20 years. That's why I asked Chris. That's crazy. I mean, justified, but you rarely see that. His sentence was the maximum allowed in the state for the crime, though he may become eligible for an earlier release. Yeah, that's what I thought. During his trial in state court, prosecutors accused Mr. Grayson of needlessly escalating the encounter with Miss Massey, 36, who had called 911 for help one night in July of 2024 because she was concerned that someone was lurking outside her house in Springfield, Illinois, which happens to be the capital of the land of Lincoln. It really is a sad case. I've seen the video, as I'm assuming some of you may have as well. And she was clearly a troubled woman. And, you know, again, it's just to threaten an officer with a boiling water. It's not a capital offense. And she never threw the water. She kind of cowered in the kitchen. She was at the stove with the water. They were kind of in the living room. She made some kind of religious kind of statement. And he pulled his weapon and she cowered down and he shot her. His life was never threatened. And based on the video that I saw, he wasn't even threatened with the hot water, which again would not have been a reason to shoot her.
Didn't he say afterwards too that he wasn't going to chance it, that she was going to do that or something like that?
Yeah. Exactly.
He said that out loud.
Yeah,
It's like,
you hear
God,
the
you're an
audio.
idiot.
And the other thing that did him in was the other officer came to the young woman's aid, and Grayson did not. And you can see that in the video, where the one officer immediately goes to her aid, and Grayson's just standing around looking. And you know, the prosecution played that video in the trial, and that had to be devastating because it says something about who you are, that you just shot this woman and you provide her absolutely no aid, and yet your partner runs to her side. And if he hadn't done that, it wouldn't have accentuated the point. You know, maybe there's a policy that they wait for EMTs. No, his buddy went right to her and tried to give her CPR, but she was shot at close range. He was almost in the kitchen when he shot her. But he won't do 20 years. He'll do 5 to 7 if he keeps his nose clean. And I'm assuming that he will. Although, you know, he might get in a couple of fights as a cop. And it doesn't take long. And I'm sure they sequester them in some way, but I don't know.
I've always been curious about that, and maybe somebody who works in the prison system can tighten me up on this, but do guards look out for former cops like that?
Yeah, I think they're sequestered. I think they're kept away from the general population.
Yeah.
As do there are a number of categories. I think media members
get the same treatment a little bit,
because I can tell you about my experience, and I was allowed to be sequestered because I was part of the media. Because people, what if there's an anti-Ralph Bailey show guy in the cell with me?
Well, that's what I would think. Like, there has to be some sort of wall between that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There absolutely is.
You could have riots every day.
Yeah. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Clayton Kershaw got a job. Did you see this?
Why, that he's in the USA team?
No. He's going to be working for the National Broadcasting Company.
Oh, is he really?
Yes. He, along with, oh, Lord, where did I do with it? Oh, I lost it. He and Anthony Rizzo and somebody else got a job along with him for NBC. They're going to be a part of NBC.
Joey Votto.
Joey Votto. Yeah, Joey Votto. They're all three going to be a part of NBC's 2026 baseball broadcasting team. Yeah, that is really cool.
I love Anthony Rizzo, too.
I do, too. And I love Joey Votto. Love Joey Votto. You ever seen the video of Joey Votto when he went after one of the umpires?
Yes, yeah.
When the ball is like a foot off the plate, and Votto, who is uncharacteristically like that, just goes ape crap.
But who are they replacing? You're not taking Jimmy Rollins out, are you? Oh, wait, no, is Rollins on NBC or is Rollins on
No,
MLB?
Rollins is on TBS, isn't he?
TBS?
I think so. I hope they're not cool. I love Jimmy Rollins.
I love the same here. That's why I'm saying, like, when you bring guys in, which is great, you're taking somebody away, too.
Yeah. CK, that's really cool. I'm really happy for him. Although, Rick Money's getting kind of long in the tooth. And I wouldn't mind. I mean, I like the Joe Davis and Oral, and who else rotates in there? That woman who I still don't know her name, who I think's really good. She helped out on the Little League broadcast as well. But I would have thought that the Dodgers would have rushed CK and asked him to get in there, because they've lessened Oral's responsibilities. Oral is doing a lot of stuff in the studios, I see, or he's out in the pavilion with the fellas in pregame. And they've been using Eric Karros on occasion as a side guy as well. But who's better than CK? Who's a guy that's months away from winning a World Championship to be your color guy along with Joe Davis? I would have thought that would have been a no-brainer for the Dodger organization, but maybe he was in talks with NBC, and maybe the network pays better than the Dodgers. But I'm happy that he landed safely. What else you got?
Notable names on NBC: Bob Costas, Jason Benetti, Kevin Brown. So, yeah, you could probably throw him in there.
Yeah. I haven't seen Kevin Brown.
Is it Orioles TV voice, it looks like. So he must only do the Orioles.
Oh, okay. The Kevin Brown? Miami Heat, Miami Marlins and us, the biggest free agent mistake we ever made. One of the biggest free agent mistakes we ever made.
No, not the same.
It's
guy.
not that Kevin Brown? Okay.
No.
I didn't think so. Because he's been on a baseball.
Oh, this is Kevin Noble Brown. He's an American journalist.
Okay. All right. Very good. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Let me see. I have time to play my Bo Nix.
You got about 2 minutes.
So I don't think I have time. I don't want to rush it. But I've got some audio after the break of Bo Nix. Here's what happened. Sean Payton, for whatever reason, and some are speculating it's because he's getting heat for how he handled the loss to the New England Patriots. One of the big issues, not kicking that field goal that would have essentially tied the ball game at some point. And they went for it on fourth down and didn't get it and came away with nothing. And so a lot of people are questioning some of the decisions that Sean Payton made. And to put it in short, he kind of threw his quarterback under the bus and claimed that, he broke a bone in his ankle and they examined it. And he seemed to either imply or flat out state, I can't remember the audio, but we'll play it after the break, that there were other issues in Bo's ankle.
Well, Bo has a long-standing ankle condition that he's had since high school. He's had multiple surgeries.
But he denies that. He denies that there was any pre-existing condition. He says, I did have a problem, but Coach Payton is exaggerating. There was no pre-existing condition. I had no problems. You'll hear from Bo Nix and Sean Payton when we come back. And I've got some other miscellaneous news and notes to get to. 2 California women, this caught my eye because I just bought a rotisserie chicken, not from Costco, but 2 California women are suing Costco because there are preservatives in their rotisserie chickens. Huh? I'll explain after the break. Don't go anywhere.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump has signed an executive order that would impose a tariff on any goods from countries that sell or provide oil to Cuba, a move that puts pressure on Mexico. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum said this week that her government had at least temporarily stopped oil shipments to Cuba, but said it was a sovereign decision not made under pressure from the United States. Authorities say a man claiming to be an FBI agent showed up to a federal jail in New York City and told officers he had a court order to release Luigi Mangione. The man was arrested and charged with impersonating an FBI agent in a foil bid to free Mangione from the Metropolitan Detention Center. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 56 points, the Nasdaq dropped 172. More details at srnnews.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
The state parole board may be keeping you from being at risk by denying 45-year-old Rory Moser parole this week. He was doing time for felony DUI when he beat his cellmate to death in North Kern State Prison in Delano in 2014. Moser believed he had done enough time for that. If you get a call from someone pretending to be a Tehachapi police sergeant or a Kern County deputy demanding immediate payment to clear a back warrant, Bear Valley police say they encountered that scam this week. They advise you not to comply, but verify. In Delano, police and the state alcoholic beverage control say they busted 2 people who agreed to buy booze for minors in what they call a shoulder tap operation. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on FM 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
We all start as tiny seeds, needing care, love, and a little sunlight. Then boom, we sprout, stretch, and grow through the world of childhood and teen years. Before you know it, we're blooming, working, parenting, thriving. And yes, even golden petals can shine bright. Join Kern County Public Health and thrive like a poppy. Visit KernPublicHealth.com to learn more.
please join us for the 4th annual Honor Flight Open Monday, March 23rd at Bakersfield Country Club. Sign up to play with a shotgun start at 11 a.m. The tournament includes lunch, a team of 4, a raffle for a number of prizes, and a cocktail hour reception. Proceeds go to Honor Flight Kern County. With your generous donations and sponsorships, we will be able to send these American heroes to Washington, D.C. to see their memorials at no cost to them. To sign up for a team, sponsor this event, or make a donation, please go to honorflightopen.com. honorflightopen.com.
Friday's Armstrong and Getty show. We did not like to talk about government shutdowns, but it looks like we might be headed to one with the whole funding DHS ICE thing.
And are criminal gangs and foreign governments actually using your computer and your phone while you're sleeping? Ooh. There's a pretty good chance that they are. What? They're inside it already. We'll talk about that and bring you the news of the day on the next Armstrong and Getty show.
Weekdays noon to 2 on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. Catch me weekday morning 6 to 9 a.m.
We know better. All right, so here is the audio from this is first Denver head coach Sean Payton, and then you'll hear Bo Nix's kind of testy response.
I was right at that they always find a little bit more when they go in, and it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when.
Didn't have any predisposed issues. Man, my ankles were feeling really good.
He said he had one in high school. And then he said he had one at Auburn.
I don't think he really should share how many surgeries I've had in the past, to be honest with you. But because I don't, he doesn't really even know that.
It was right at that they always find a little bit more when they go in, and it wasn't a matter of if, it was.
I played it twice, yeah. So there's some heat between his coach, and he's absolutely right. There's one thing you do not discuss. I don't care who you are. My boss, your boss, your wife, your husband, your parents, you don't talk about another person's medical issues. It's not a HIPAA violation. That is one of the biggest myths and misunderstood laws on the books. HIPAA has nothing to do, HIPAA has to do with physicians and medical professionals not allowing people to know your medical history. That's a HIPAA violation. Legally, you can talk about anybody's medical. I can go on and talk about Chris Burdick's boil he's got on his butt, but I would never do that. No, I just made that up. But do you see? That's why you don't do that. What if Burdick came in here and talked about my hemorrhoids? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to know anybody that I've got hemorrhoids. I don't have hemorrhoids, but that's my point. What if you do have something that's sensitive? My PSA number truly is sensitive, but I'm willing to throw that out there so you all will learn that, A, don't be afraid of prostate cancer if you're over 55, 60, 65 years old, because it's almost inevitable. But if you're doing what I'm urging you to do, and that's see a doctor 2, 3, 4 times a year, it can get caught early, which if in fact my 4.3 is a manifestation of prostate cancer, at least we can wipe it out with radiation and I'd be done with it. But had I not gone and seen a doctor, had I not discovered the rise in my PSA number, who knows where I would be 6 months to a year from now. It just doesn't make sense to avoid physicians. But Bo Nix is absolutely right. I'm becoming a fan of this kid. that what he did in high school and college and his medical records are nobody's business but his and his family's. And for Sean Payton to get up there and say, well, whenever they look, they find something else. And he told me that he had something, it's like, dude, you're my coach. Don't be telling people what's going on with me. And why would Payton want the league to know my quarterback's frail history in his right ankle?
The only reason
I
I
don't
could
even
think
understand the logic in that.
The only reason I could think is what you said earlier, is that he's getting blamed for this and he's looking for a scapegoat.
Absolutely.
He's saying, if my quarterback didn't get hurt, we wouldn't have lost that game.
Yeah, exactly. Which is probably true. Probably true.
But it's still, you can't, if it's a condition, because if it is a condition, you can't blame Bo for that.
Right. Did I send you Taryn Smith, our rower?
No.
Or do I have it? I'm finally going to I think we've played this once. By the way, have you seen the video of the croquet match in London and the cute little girl and the beers?
I think I've heard about this, but I haven't seen it.
I'm going to play this. It obviously loses it because of the video. But what happens is, it's a cute little blonde chick. She's watching a cricket match. Did I say croquet?
Yeah.
Cricket match in London. She's got her glasses on. She's just kicking it. And what is this thing called? The big screen.
Oh,
the big screen.
Yeah, the Jumbotron.
The Jumbotron catches her. And she realizes she's on the Megatron. And she grabs a cup of beer and downs it. And the announcers are like encouraging her, like, look at her go. And she totally downs it. She downs it and like laughs at her friends and sits back, and she looks up and she's still on the big screen. So she grabs another beer and downs that. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I thought it was kind of cool. Listen to the audio.
Looking after everybody. Oh no! Finish! Go! No! 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 Yes! That's the lighter part of this afternoon. And there she is. She used to be proud of herself. Unbelievable kickers. No! She's unbelievable.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to. I'm famous for ending the show on sour notes, and I'm trying to change that. And I know I should have at least held it up for the folks watching on YouTube. But she's a cute little girl, and it's just funny. And how she saw, I'm still on the thing. And she's drinking two different beers. Like the first one seems to be a Guinness. It's a dark beer. I just assume it's London, so it's Guinness. And then she sees she's still on the deal. And she grabs another light beer this time and knocks that down in one gulp. Or, one take. I thought it was funny. Maybe it's just me. All right, so Taryn Smith, I've been talking about for the last month, literally. She was on a 45-day trip to Antigua, crossing the Atlantic in a rowboat. Now you say, Ralph, we've been hearing you talk about this, and we're finally going to get the audio, but why are you making such a big deal out of this girl? Here's the amazing thing about Taryn Smith. On the day that she set out to get to Antigua and cross the Atlantic was the first time she'd ever been on a rowboat on the ocean. When she began training for this trip across the Atlantic Ocean was the first time she'd ever been on a rowboat. Remember when I first told you about this? And I said, well, she was obviously on a crew team in college, or, maybe was a competitive kayaker and she's got the shoulders and the thing. But go look her up, Taryn Smith, because she's about to become a national figure. She's going to be on all the talk shows. She's going to be on Kimmel and all this stuff. This is an amazing thing. By herself, 45 days, and just the trials and tribulations that she went through, and the problems and the depression, and just being at sea for 45 days. And I mean, I've seen waves that can turn over ships. I don't know how in the world she managed in a damn rowboat, but she did. And she made it to Antigua yesterday, and I don't have the audio. That is absolutely amazing. I'm going to play it for you tomorrow. She made it this morning, but I'm going to play it for you tomorrow. That is really depressing that I don't have that. That's why at weird hours of the night, I send it to you, because for some reason I'll forget and won't send it to my damn self. But anyway, here's some other random news that I found just screwing around the other night. You want to hear the last 5 seasons of Sandy Koufax's career, Chris Burdick?
Sure.
The year I was born, which is...
Oh, don't test me on that right now. 67?
I wish. 62.
Dang, I was off by 5.
He was, yes, I wish I was 58. He was 14-7. He had a 2.54 ERA. He had 11 complete games, 216 strikeouts. And then it began. Because that's very average, right?
Yeah.
14-7, 2.54, 200 strikeouts.
Yeah, that's pretty good for a starter.
In 63, he was 25-5. He had a 1.88 ERA. He had 20 complete games and struck out 306 batters. In 1964, a year later, he went 19-5, had an even lower ERA of 1.74, had 15 complete games, and struck out 223. He didn't play the entire season that year, but he did in 65 when he led us to beat the Minnesota Twins for the World Championship. He was 26-8 with a 2.04 ERA, 27 complete games. 27 complete games. And he was 26-8. So you figure every one of his wins was a complete game, including one of his defeats. And he struck out damn near 400 batters, 382 strikeouts. And his final season, and this is why it was such a mystery why Sandy retired, because he was only 32 years old at the time. He was 27-9. 27-9. 1.73 ERA. 27 complete games. And again, I'm assuming those were all his wins. And he struck out 317 batters. And then he said, I'm gone. And if you've ever seen the sad news conference where they asked him why, he said, quite frankly, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously, tired of taking shots into my elbow. Tired of taking pills the day after I pitch. I'm tired of being in pain and having to stuck it up and gut it out and go out there. And I want to use my left arm when I'm 45, 55, 65 years old. And it's a good thing because Sandy's led a long, long life. I think he's staring 90 in the mug. Hey, Siri, how old is Sandy Koufax?
Sandy Koufax.
He is 90. I beg your pardon. He just turned 90 at the end of the year. And that's why I say one series, one game, I'm picking Sandy. Not CK, not even Yosh. Maybe in a couple of years, I change my mind and go to Yoshinobu Yamamoto. If he has another World Series like he did last year, I just might change my mind. But for one game or one series, and in my opinion, the greatest Dodger who ever lived, the greatest pitcher, is Sandy Koufax. And I love CK, and I love the way he went out. But the reality is he had his issues in the playoffs. You heard the story. I bet a ton of money on the Dodgers because he was going, and I had to pay a bunch of money because he was the overwhelming favorite to win the game. It was a playoff game, so I didn't pay as much as I might have for a regular season game. And I left this studio at 6 o'clock, and the Dodgers were up 5-0. And the commentators kept screaming that he was like 22-1 with a more than a 4-run lead. And by the time I got to my house, which is about a 6-minute drive, it was 6-5, and he was out of the ball game, and the Dodgers went on to lose. And I lost a considerable amount of money that day. So that's why I go with Sandy. Let's take our final break of the night. Tomorrow is a Friday. Unknown whether Brandon Lang is going to contact us or not. We're waiting for his phone call. If he calls, we'll talk with him. If not, I think I can handle the 4 o'clock hour, which, of course, is preceded by Rick Bentley. I'm going to bring up with Mr. Bentley, in case you're listening, RB, the new movie. What is the big movie, Chris Burdick, that everybody's talking about?
Has it come out yet, or is this a trailer?
Turn around.
Oh, are we talking about the Trump movie?
It's not the Trump movie.
I'm sorry, the Melania movie. I apologize. The Melania movie.
The eponymous movie, because that's what it's called, Melania. You talk about a movie that is going to plummet like an anvil in Marianas Trench. I could be wrong. Maybe Democrats will come out to watch this movie. You know what I'm saying? But I doubt it. And she's the executive producer, so it's not like it's going to be a unbiased examination of her life or marriage, being the first lady. No. This is going to be an advertising film for Melania Trump, who is an absolutely gorgeous woman. She's on the screen as we speak. The movie premieres. God, look at her walk. She even walks high. Good. They're premiering the movie as we speak. We'll talk to Mr. Bentley about that, Brandon Lang as well, and have a conclusion on. Oh, we got another guest tomorrow as well.
We have the Veterans Family Band will be dropping by. They are looking for new bandmates, so they wanted to put out a little notice to everybody, plus maybe play a song or two.
What time is that?
I believe 5 o'clock.
Okay. All of that, plus, will there be a government shutdown at midnight tomorrow? We'll get into that. Seems to be a close or a deal cut. We'll find out in conclusion tomorrow. Hope you'll be with us. Final time out of the night. Keep it locked. You're listening to The Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1, AM 1180, KRN. We stream live at currentradio.com.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN.
God dang it. Reggie,
Attention,
why can't I
Medicare
keep your head
beneficiaries in
on?
Kern County. If you're eligible for Medicare and looking for a doctor who listens and cares about you with
Reggie
minimal wait
Smith
times and
just
prompt
can't keep
referral
his head.
authorizations, it's time you learned about QualCare IPA. You know, for years, I've been telling you QualCare IPA contracts with most Medicare Advantage health plans and provides you with access to a large network of outstanding doctors and quality hospitals right here in Kern County. Medicare Advantage health plans go beyond original Medicare benefits coverage, and understanding these coverage differences may be confusing. Call us today at 661-554-4544 and let us help you understand your options for 2026. Call today.
Oh. Now, we did something funny today. What did we do that was funny? What were we laughing at? Oh, the music. That's not. What else? There was something else we were laughing at. Wasn't there something funny today? What to do. I guess I got to do Minnesota. 3, 2. So everybody's talking about this new video, and I think it sheds bad light on the ICE agents. Alex Preddy, 11 days before he was shot, committed a federal crime. Crime? I've been thinking. 3, 2. So the new video, I think, sheds poorer light on the ICE agents. Alex Preddy, 11 days before he was shot, committed a federal crime. He destroyed federal property. And yet these guys didn't arrest him, and he had a weapon on him. They didn't even pat him down. They didn't even know that he had a gun. So if he was this assassin or this man aimed at targeting ICE agents, they could have killed these guys. The protocol is wrong, and the training has been poor. What do I call these guys at 5?
Veterans Family Band.
Veterans Family Band. 3-2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Friday TRBS. Well, it's a Friday. Rick Bentley will be here. We'll talk about the motion picture Melania. And, of course, we hope to talk to Brandon Lang. And the folks from the Veteran Family Band are going to join us in the 5. All that plus me at 3. It's TRBS. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1180 KERN. I'll see you at 3.
So your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/Mike.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, may I ask a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a dog.
Great. Do you have a pool outside?
Nope, just a big old backyard.
Nice. Another question. Are there any unlocked guns in the home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, let's just talk about what we can bring for dessert.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
I'm J.R. Flores. Catch my show, The J.R. Show.
Yeah, why?
Because we don't replay bands more than once a day.
Why?
I just don't do that. Nah, I could have, but I figured mix it up a little bit. Rest of them will get played starting tomorrow.
Casey Jones. Going to play Casey Jones a little more.
I don't think I got Casey Jones on this one.
Yeah, it's on here. Oh, yeah, under Friend of the Devil and Sugar Magnolia.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Casey Jones, the song. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought that was an artist. I apologize.
No. That's the song. Casey Jones. Watch your speed. 842-5376. Anything left on the board before we get out of here?
No, we are bare.
Outstanding. And I don't think anybody's talking in the chat room. Let's see if anybody's saying anything. I can't read your name. Patricia, I believe it is. Elon, Jesse Smolletted, everyone. Yeah, we don't know. Only she knows, and Anthony Kazmerzik, who's been charged with it. But it's a federal crime, so it would be if he took one for her team, boy, that's a big bullet to take because that's a federal crime. You can't attack a congressperson and not do 1 to 3 years. Are you kidding me? He's going to jail to a federal prison for a while. And these guys don't get to go to Club Fed. He's going to go to a serious prison somewhere in the DC Metro, Virginia, Maryland area. So if it was fake, boy, he's an ardent supporter. But I think what caught everybody's attention was the thing that caught my attention: the fact that she was sprayed with something and didn't change her blouse, and that she approached her attacker. You don't approach your attacker. You don't know what that guy has. He could have pulled out a gun and shot her right in that face, or he has a knife. You don't know what's going on. That was a great joke. You don't have a knife. You don't have a gun. Anyway. And then the fact that there's a picture of the two of them. They took a very close, intimate selfie together. It doesn't sound like a guy that's got a problem with the congresswoman. But, the whole state of Minnesota is in disarray. And as somebody brought up, I think it was, who brought that up? That it might have been one of the texters, brought up the fact that Tim Walz is retiring from politics because he's up to his neck in fraud. He was exposed as a horrible vice presidential candidate, and he knows that Amy Klobuchar was going to do what Amy Klobuchar did, and that's announced today that she's running for governor, and he knew damn well he was not going to beat Amy Klobuchar. And, he destroyed himself. Kamala Harris gave him the greatest prize that you could give a politician, and that is a national spotlight. And as I've talked about so many times, there is difference between local spotlight, state spotlight, even regional spotlight. If you're a star in the South, in the Southwest, or the Northeast. But national spotlight in America, there is nothing like it. And they look through your garbage. They talk to your kindergarten school teacher, your elementary school teacher, and he got exposed. That whole Tiananmen Square lie. I can't even remember the other lie. There was another lie that he claimed that he was somewhere and they proved that he wasn't. He just got exposed. And, the fake, I'm such a gun owner and I don't even know how to carry a shotgun and working on his car. It was a disaster. A, because Kamala was involved, but B, because he was not the guy. It should have been Josh Shapiro, but she wanted a lackey. Let's be honest. She wanted a lackey. There were so many Democrats that would have made a much better vice presidential candidate. And to be honest, might have elevated her. Josh Shapiro would have elevated her. But the problem is he's a better politician than she is. And she wanted a lackey. And she got one. And the country said, no, no, no. And Minnesota now is saying no, no, no. And that's why he's retiring. The only reason a politician retires because they know they can't get elected. Otherwise, these people will stay in office until they die. You know what I'm saying? Because as we talked about earlier, you can get filthy rich in the halls of Congress, the Senate, and certainly on the executive level. Want to thank Mike Turnipseed, Daniel Petrie, and all of you for joining us. Tomorrow, as I mentioned, of course, a Friday. Our man Rick Bentley on the premiere of Melania Trump's movie, Melania. And hopefully Brandon Lang and the Veterans Family Band. For Chris Bernick, I'm Ralph Bailey. That's what's really going on. Wrap to you tomorrow!
This is AM 1180 KERN. Green Acres. This is 96.1 FM. Bakersfield. Online at KERNradio.com.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The latest on the attack against Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota.
The Justice Department has charged a man who squirted apple cider vinegar on Democratic U.S. Representative Ilhan Omar at an event in Minneapolis. The man arrested for the attack, Anthony Kazmierczak, faces a charge of forcibly assaulting, opposing, impeding, and intimidating Omar. That's according to court papers filed in federal court and made public. An affidavit says authorities determined the substance was water and apple cider vinegar. Kazmierczak has a criminal history and has made online posts supportive of President Donald Trump. I'm Haya Panjwani.
The European Union has agreed to list Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist organization over Tehran's bloody crackdown on nationwide protests.
Kaja Kallas, the EU's foreign policy chief, said Thursday that the bloc's foreign ministers unanimously agreed on the designation. Earlier in the day, Kallas told reporters,
if you act as a terrorist, you should also be treated as terrorist.
The listing came after the 27-nation bloc sanctioned 15 Iranian officials, including commanders in its Revolutionary Guard, over the violent crackdown on protesters. Activists say the crackdown has seen over 6,300 people killed. I'm